Naam, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaba mpenzi mtazamaji, natumai umzima wa afya, ikiwa ni tarehe 8 mwezi wa Mei. Kama ilivyo ada, ni siku ambayo tunaangazia masuala ya afya. Hii leo katika sehemu ya pili ya afya yako tutakuwa tunaangazia maradhi ya ini kwa watoto. Tukiachana na hayo mtazamaji, tupate vipasho kwa sasa.
After long and painstaking negotiations that ran into the wee hours of the night for many days, I am pleased that we are finally here. We have signed a return to work formula and the union has called off the strike.
Mgomo wa karibu miezi miwili wa madaktari wasitishwa.
Bado hatuja weather haiko sawa. Bado wakereketwa wa mambo na weather wanatuambia bado mvua inazidi.
Tutaendelea kuchunga watoto wetu wakifuka mto wakienda shule.
Wazazi watoa hisia kinzani baada ya agizo la shule kufunguliwa. Mwili wa jamaa aliyezama maji na gari lake mto Sagana siku 7 zilizopita bado haujatolewa. Kwa nini?
You will agree, sir, again the material you cite.
But even you kill yourself, you saw?
No, I didn't see, unfortunately. But let's go to the matter at hand, page 8.
Na ilikuwa nipe nikupe bungeni wakati wa kusikiliza hoja ya kutaka kumuondoa kazini Waziri Linturi.
NTV jioni na Nuru Abdul Aziz.
Na karibu mtazamaji, mwenzangu Ishara ni Flora Atieno, andamana nasi hadi tamati. Ni afueni kwa Wakenya baada ya serikali na muungano wa madaktari nchini KMPDU kutangaza kuwa mgomo wao wa siku 56 umesitishwa. Muungano wa madaktari wa KMPDU umetia saini mkataba wa kurejea kazini na serikali kudhibitisha kuwa kumekuwa na maelewano. Hapo jana KMPDU ilikutana pia na baraza la magavana na kuwafikia suluhu na kaunti ili madaktari hao warejee kazini. Kwa sasa swala tatanishi bado ni kupewa kazi na kulipa madaktari wanagenzi shilingi 1206, jambo ambalo pande zote zimekubaliana kuendelea na mazungumzo kwa siku 60 ili kupata suluhu. Na tukiendelea na taarifa zetu ni kwamba agizo la Rais William Ruto kuzitaka shule zote kufunguliwa wiki ijayo limeibua hisia kinzani miongoni mwa wazazi. Kama anavyoarifu Mariana Muli, wazazi kutoka kaunti zilizoathirika pakubwa na mafuriko wanasema hawako tayari kuwapeleka watoto wao shuleni kwani hali sio salama. Rais aliagiza shule kufunguliwa akisema ni kutokana na ushauri wa idara ya hali ya hewa nchini.
Ningependa kutangaza ya kwamba shule zetu zote za Kenya zitafunguliwa Jumatatu ijayo.
Agizo la rais limewapata baadhi ya wazazi vinywa wazi, ikizingatiwa baadhi ya shule zimeathirika pakubwa na mafuriko. Hali ni tete katika kaunti ya Kisumu na haswa katika maeneo ya Nyando ambako bado kuna mafuriko.
Nje ni maji. Watoto wako chini ya miaka 5 kuelekea. Sasa hao watoto wenye wako wadogo watasomea wapi?
The water is still disturbing. It's still overflowing. It's still bringing disaster. It's also bringing a lot of sickness.
Sio kaunti ya Kisumu ambayo imeathirika na hali ya mafuriko. Kaunti ya Bungoma wazazi wanasema mvua bado inaendelea kwa kiasi kikubwa maeneo ya magharibi, na wazazi wanasema kuna stahili kuwa na mwelekeo thabiti.
Ningeuliza serikali wameweka mikakati gani, kwa sababu to me I feel hatuko ready wanafunzi kurudi shule.
Changamoto ambazo tuko shuleni, tunaomba urelease pesa ifikie shuleni ili at least marekebisho na vitu vingine vifanyike shule. Hatutaki pia watoto madarasa wanaposoma madarasa wasiangukie.
Hata hivyo kwenye kaunti ya Kiambu kuna hisia kinzani. Wazazi wa maeneo ya Kikuyu wanasema bado hali ni mbaya, na wale wa Gatundu wakisema ni afueni shule kufunguliwa.
Watoto wako nyumbani na jana wanaradarada hivi tu, lakini wakiwa shule wana gain.
We have stayed a little longer to make sure the rains that are ongoing have actually minimized.
Kufikia sasa zaidi ya watu 200 wameaga dunia kufuatia mafuriko na shule zaidi ya 1000 zikiathirika. Mariana Muli, NTV.
Na tukisonga mbele, jamaa mmoja huko Mombasa amehukumiwa kifungo cha miaka 30 baada ya kumjeruhi mwanamke anayesemekana alivunja uhusiano wao wa kimapenzi ulioendelea kwa mwaka mmoja unusu. Hakimu Gladys Olimo alitoa kifungo hicho baada ya ushahidi uliotolewa kuiridhisha mahakama. Inasemekana mfungwa Mohamed Kombe mwenye umri wa miaka 30 alimwagia asidi mwanamke huyo na kumsababishia ulemavu wa kuona. Fatma Kaingu aliwahi kufanyiwa upasuaji wa macho, lakini hadi sasa hawezi kuona kutokana na majeraha aliyopata, na sasa anategemea usaidizi kutoka kwa jamaa zake. Tukio hilo la unyama lilifanyika Novemba mwaka 2015.
It's quite unfortunate that the complainant may never enjoy the sense of vision, which is one of the most important senses. For the rest of her life, she can no longer enjoy the everyday activities like her hobbies. She shall no longer see the beauty in the world. Indeed, the accused cruel and inhuman act has permanently altered the complainant's life.
Naam, kwenye taarifa nyingine, uchunguzi kuhusu mswada wa kumng'atua waziri wa kilimo Franklin Mithika Linturi ulioko mbele ya kamati teule ya bunge hii leo uligeuka na kuwa vuta nikuvute kati ya pande mbili za aliyewasilisha hoja hiyo Jack Wamboka na waziri Mithika Linturi kupitia wakili wake Mudhomi Thiankolu. Wawili wao walitofautiana kuhusu ushahidi ulioko, huku swala tete la ugavi wa mbolea ghushi likionekana kuchukua mkondo mwingine baada ya waziri Linturi kudai kwamba aliyekuwa mpenziwe ambaye sasa ni mbunge ndiye anayetaka ang'atuliwe uongozini. Linturi hii leo alisema kwamba kinachomkabili ni changamoto ya kikazi na kwamba yuko tayari kujitetea kwa vyovyote vile. Jack Wamboka alihojiwa na wakili wa Linturi Mudhomi Thiankolu.
There is not a single act or omission disclosed on his part. On the contrary, what is before you are alleged acts of third parties. We are placed before you in document number 2 and in document number 21, evidence that shows that Linturi is not guilty of these allegations.
When counsel for the mover accepts in before this committee that was called, was having a discussion with the so-called, with the person that we are referring to as a proxy, one wonders what is it that was being discussed. So, members of this committee, I would want to say one time that as we look into this matter, let us really look at the matter on the basis of evidence and the fact. I am ready to defend myself, and I really know the pain that the number of farmers that already interacted with the few bags of fertilizer. I really feel for them, and I've taken corrective measures from the ministry.
Committee instead of the board. He did not follow that which Constitution expected him. He did not actualize that. In fact, on the basis of that only, he needs to be home yesterday.
Then kindly confirm to this committee that from the clip that you played there, the CS confirmed procuring the fertilizer.
He kept talking about we. My understanding of basic English, it means you are part of it.
Na tukirejelea taarifa hapo awali kuhusiana na mgomo wa madaktari, ni kwamba ni afueni kwa Wakenya baada ya serikali na muungano wa madaktari nchini KMPDU kutangaza kuwa mgomo wao wa siku 56 umesitishwa. Muungano wa madaktari KMPDU umetia saini mkataba wa kurejea kazini na serikali kudhibitisha kuwa kumekuwa na maelewano. Hapo jana KMPDU ilikutana pia na baraza la magavana na kufikia suluhu na kaunti ili madaktari hao warejee kazini. Kwa sasa swala tatanishi bado ni kupewa kazi na kulipa madaktari wanagenzi shilingi 206,000, jambo ambalo pande zote zimekubaliana kuendelea na mazungumzo kwa siku 60 ili kupata suluhu.
We had a very long meeting today with our National Advisory Council, that is the highest decision-making organ. And they endorsed that we signed this particular return to work formula today so that it can pave way for the doctors to resume work within 24 hours from now. And that means the strike that began on 13th of March 2024 has been called off.
I want to urge all of us for now to focus on service delivery and make your rightful contribution to realization of UHC. The country has waited anxiously for 54 days to see you back to work, and they have a right to demand and expect to be served without further delay.
Kwingineko, wanawake wametakiwa kuwa na mazoea kila baada ya wakati kufika kwenye vituo vya afya kufanyiwa ukaguzi wa kiafya dhidi ya maradhi ya saratani. Wakizungumza kwenye kongamano la mwanamke Mwafrika hapa Nairobi, kina mama hao wamesema zaidi ya 40% ya wanawake wameathirika na saratani bila ufahamu barani Afrika, huku wakiyataja mashirika husika ya kina mama kuweka mikakati kikamilifu ili kulinda haki za mtoto msichana. Kongamano hilo la siku 3 limejumuisha zaidi ya wanawake 1,000 kutoka mataifa yote 54 kujadili namna ya kuwezesha wanawake barani Afrika.
The forum's theme, Women's Health, Empowering Voices and Inspiring Change, encapsulates the crucial steps we must take to attain the gender equity.
Na mtazamaji, baada ya taarifa hiyo tupate mapumziko mafupi na rejea na sehemu ya afya yako. Usiende mbali.
Crazy offers. Save up to 180 bob. Buy now at a store near you.
We invite you to join us in the green city under the sun as we converge to discuss the critical role of data governance in the realization of Africa's digital transformation. Hosted by the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner in conjunction with the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, the Network of Data Protection Authorities AGM and conference at the Windsor Hotel and Golf Club from the 7th to the 9th of May 2024. This year's conference will be graced by His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto. We are hosting a hybrid conference aimed at strengthening our collaborative approach towards data protection frameworks of member states. Don't miss out on the opportunity to network, exchange knowledge, and gain new perspectives from industry experts and leaders from across the world. Visit www.nadpconference.odpc.go.ke for more information.
How do you keep your toilets clean? I use normal detergent and bleach for washing. The detergent and bleach cleanless can leave behind yellowness, rust and germs. Harpic's 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach, and kills 99.9% illness-causing germs in your toilet, including the COVID-19 virus.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Did you know that malaria is a top 10 cause of death in Kenya, with over 10,000 Kenyans dying every year from malaria, and the reason being a mosquito? We believe protection and prevention is the best cure in the fight to end malaria. Mortein Doom, with its trusted formulation, it provides protection in seconds. So spread the Mortein Doom message of how we, you and I, can fight to end malaria. Mortein Doom, Kenya's #1 choice.
Schalke are one of the biggest and most iconic football clubs in Germany, who were a staple in the Bundesliga for over 3 decades. The Royal Blues regularly competed in Europe and run a famed youth academy, with German internationals and World Cup winners graduating from Die Knappenschmiede. But it's been a dramatic fall from grace for Schalke, who are in the midst of a crisis of alarming proportions and facing an uncertain future.
Eldora Technical Training Institute. Enroll now in our ongoing May 2024 intakes in the following diploma, certificate and artisan programs. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725 818 644. Eldora Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Na karibu tena mtazamaji. Kabla ya kuangazia kuhusiana na afya yako au sehemu ya afya yako, tuangazie taarifa kuhusiana na mafuriko humu nchini. Huku athari za mafuriko zikiendelea kushuhudiwa katika maeneo mbalimbali nchini, shughuli za kuopoa miili ya dada wawili waliofagiliwa na mafuriko walipokuwa wakivuka mto Ndarugu katika kaunti ya Nakuru zinaendelea, na katika eneo la Sagana wapiga mbizi bado hawajafanikiwa kuopoa mwili wa mwanamume mmoja aliyezama katika mto Sagana akiwa ndani ya gari lake wiki moja iliyopita. Mwanahabari wetu Gabriel Kudaka anamkusanyiko wa taarifa hizo za mafuriko.
Akithibitisha mkasa huo uliosababisha vifo vya dada wawili katika mto Ndarugu, kaunti ya Nakuru, chifu wa Sigotik Sami Kirui alisema Faith Chipto alizama alipokuwa akijaribu kumwokoa dada yake mdogo Sharon Chepngetich aliyekuwa ameteleza akivuka daraja. Na wiki moja tangu mwanaume mmoja kuzama na gari lake aina ya double cabin katika mto wa Sagana, kikosi maalum cha KDF kimejiunga na shughuli za uopozi baada ya juhudi za wenyeji kuopoa mwili huo kugonga mwamba.
Watchman aliona mataa. Hiyo mataa haikuvuka kwa bridge ya kuelekea Sagana, na alafu akasikia sauti ni kama gari imeanguka.
Tuweke mikakati ya kwamba Kenha kuwe na vile wataweka baria hapa, hata kama ni guardrails kutoka kule juu mpaka hapa chini, na kama itawezekana tuweke concrete barrier pale karibu na daraja, kwa vile watu wetu wengi hapa wamepotelea hapa.
Wakati huo huo, shirika la Msalaba Mwekundu kwa ushirikiano na mashirika mengine walitoa msaada kwa waathiriwa wa mafuriko katika kaunti ya Kiambu.
We have a total of 540 people who have been displaced. Majority of them have relocated from their ordinary residence.
Tumewaletea kitchen set, tumewaletea blanketi, tumewaletea mtungi wa kubeba maji safi na pamoja na sleeping mats.
Kwa mujibu wa serikali, idadi ya watu waliofariki imefikia 257 kufikia sasa, baada ya watu 19 katika maeneo mbalimbali kufariki hapo jana. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
Na sasa mtazamaji, tuangazie sehemu ya afya yako. Hii leo tunaangazia maradhi ya ini kwa watoto. Humu nchini mtazamaji, watoto wengi huathirika na aina mbili za magonjwa ya ini: homa ya ini yani hepatitis na biliary atresia. Biliary atresia ni hali kwa watoto wachanga ambapo mirija ya nyongo nje na ndani ya ini huwa na makovu na kuziba. Nyongo yani bile haiwezi kutiririka ndani ya utumbo, hivyo hujilimbikiza kwenye ini na kuliharibu. Ni hamu ya kila mama kujaliwa mtoto mwenye afya njema, lakini Rahma Kazani na Faith Njuguna, furaha ya uzazi imeandamiza masumbuko. Watoto wao wanapambana na ugonjwa huo wa biliary atresia. Kina mama hao wana wakati mgumu kutafuta hela za kuokoa maisha ya watoto wao kwa matibabu maalum nchini India. Fatma Bugo anaarifu.
Kwa majina naitwa Rahma Kazani Gohu, na mimi ndio mamake huyu mtoto ambaye jina lake anaitwa Ayanada Muzo. Siku 3 nilipokuwa nimemzaa ndio niligundua kuna manjano kwenye mkojo wake. Na shida nyingine ambayo pia niligundua hiyo siku ni nikimnyonyesha ningepata kama tumbo lake linafura kupita kiasi. Sasa nikaamua acha nirudi pale mahali ambako nilijifungua nijaribu kuwaelezea. Nilipoelezea wakaniambia sasa hizi ni hali hupata watoto na uende ikawa tu mtoto amepata infection. Katika hali hizo ndo akafanyiwa scan ya tumbo. Pia bado scan ikaonyesha yuko sawa, hana shida yoyote. Wakamdunga sindano tu ndogo hapa ili waweze kutoa damu, maana sasa bado ni mchanga, watoe vipimo pengine malaria ama nini. So katika kumdunga ile mahali ambapo alikuwa amedungwa, kwanza damu ikawa haitaki kuziba, yani haitaki kuacha, inatoka tu. Sasa kile pia kikamfanya yule daktari akajua hapa kuna nini, kuna tatizo. Sasa walipofanya vile vipimo na wakapata wamethibitisha kuna hiyo shida, mimi niliambiwa, lakini nilikuwa sina ufahamu wa shida kama hiyo ya ini kwa inaweza ikashika watoto. Akafanywa upasuaji akiwa na miezi 2. Na walipofanya ule upasuaji sasa wakapata ini lake halina, kwa kimombo anaita bile duct. Sasa walipomtoa theater ndo wakanielezea kuwa hii hali ambayo yuko nayo haezi akasaidika, isipokuwa matibabu yamebaki ni transplant peke yake. Na wakaniambia ni milioni 4. Sawa, nang'ang'ana kama mzazi, lakini sasa inafika mahali unaweza pata umeandikiwa dawa na ile pesa hiyo siku huna, na mtoto waambiwa asikose hata dozi hata moja, maana sasa hizo dawa ndo zinazomweka mpaka nyinyi mufike India.
Tamara alizaliwa akiwa na shida ya liver. Akiwa na 5 days niligundua akona ile yellowness kwa macho. Ultrasound ya 3 ndio ilionyesha missing bile. Tukarudi tukafanya liver biopsy. Ndio sasa ikasemekana mtoto ana biliary atresia. Time tulifika India tukapokelewa na tukaanza process ya kufanya transplant. Mimi ndiye nilikuwa dona wa Tamara, mimi ndiye nilimpea liver. Wakati huo amefikisha miaka 2 tukirudi. Na hiyo miaka 2 ungemwangalia ungesema ndio amezaliwa. Akakaa kidogo tena akapata portal hypertension. Ndio tukaambiwa daktari mwenye huwa tunaona, ikabidi sasa atupe livaro ya kurudi India ndio ile poto iende itibiwe. Tunahitaji 3.5 million. Serikali yetu ningewaomba mkitufungulia place ya liver transplant mtuangalilie hata hizo prices za liver test na pia dawa.
Shukrani sana Fatma Bugu kwa taarifa hiyo. Tunatumai kwamba watoto hao watapata matibabu wanayohitaji. Mtazamaji, tupate mapumziko mafupi. Tukirejea tutakuwa tunaangazia sehemu ya uliza ujibiwe. Usiende mbali.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Today we're on Happy Kenya Clean Toilet Mission. And we're visiting Mama Zawadi live in Nairobi. Come with me. Selena! Mama Zawadi, how do you keep your toilets clean?
I use normal detergent and bleach for washing.
The detergent and bleach cleanless can leave behind yellowness, rust, and germs. Harpic's 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach. And kills 99.9% illness-causing germs in your toilet, including the COVID-19 virus.
Wow, Selena! Nimeamini sasa!
Really? Yes! Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Don't let dark marks break your confidence. Let your melanin glow.
New innovation, L'Oréal Paris Glycolic Bright Serum, validated with dermatologists, inspired by peeling procedures, powered by glycolic acid. Acts deep and fast to reduce 5 years of dark marks in 2 weeks.
Glowing, even-toned skin for you.
New Glycolic Bright Serum, an innovation by L'Oréal Paris.
We're worth it.
Are you looking for a recognized TVET institution for your career training? Here is your chance. The Eldoret Technical Training Institute, ETTI, offers students an opportunity to explore their career growth in a friendly learning environment. Enroll now in our ongoing May 2024 intakes in the following diploma, certificate and artisan programs: Agriculture and Animal Health, Engineering Technology, Diploma in Teacher Education, Business and Commerce, Tourism and Hospitality, Journalism and Mass Communication, Computing and Information Communication Technology, Medical and Health Sciences, among others. Computer classes are also ongoing. And now, introducing the ETTI Driving School at 30% off for all driving categories. Apply now in the ongoing May 2024 intakes. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725 818 644 or visit our website www.eldoretti.ac.ke. Eldoret Technical Training Institute, growing reputation.
Na shukran sana kwa kuendelea kutazama NTV jioni. Mtazamaji, karibu katika sehemu ya uliza ujibiwe. Hapa katika studio nina Daktari Lydia Patrick ambaye ni mtaalamu wa afya ya watoto. Leo mtazamaji, kama nilivyokueleza, tunazungumzia magonjwa ya ini kwa watoto. Moja kwa moja tuangazie maswali hayo. Mwelekezi wangu.
Kwa majina ni Elizabeth Nzai kutoka Bungoma. Naomba kuuliza daktari swali lifuatalo: mambo yapi yanasababisha magonjwa ya ini kwa watoto?
Daktari, tueleze.
Tuseme ni kama mambo tofauti. Juu kunaweza kuwa shida na ini juu ya infection. Sana sana viral infection. Zingine ni juu labda mtoto amezaliwa hivyo hivyo. Hakuna exact sababu juu kwa nini mtoto amezaliwa hivyo. So sana sana tunapata either ni juu ya infection ama mtoto amezaliwa hivyo. Hizo ndio sana sana ndio tunaziona.
Hiyo ndio sana. Kuna nyingine tofauti labda?
Tuseme labda mama ako na infection ya ini, alafu awe mjamzito, alafu apate mtoto. Sasa akipata mtoto, kuna vile mtoto huyo anaweza pata shida ya ini.
Naam, shukrani sana. Tukiangaza swali nyingine.
Swali langu ni je, magonjwa ya ini kwa watoto ni kama yapi, na watoto hao huanza kuathirika wakiwa umri gani?
Tuseme kama tunaweza pata ugonjwa kama inaitwa hepatitis, na sana sana vile nilivyosema zinakuanga juu ya virus. So zinakuanga virus tofauti zina cause hepatitis. Alafu kuna ingine ambaye inapatikana sana kwenye watoto wachanga, inaitwa biliary atresia. Ile ambayo pia nilisema ya kutoka kwa mama, hiyo pia tunaitanga hepatitis. Sana sana utapata ni hepatitis B. So hawa watoto sana sana utapata kwanza ile ambayo wanazaliwa nayo kama hiyo biliary atresia, utapata kutoka about 2 weeks of age ndio wanaanza kupata mashida. Alafu hizi zingine pia mtoto akiinfektiwa unapata around 2-3 weeks akisha infektiwa anaanza kupata hizo madalili.
Kuna taarifa ambayo tumeangazia kuhusiana na biliary atresia. Tukiangalia labda dalili ambazo ni zipi zinajitokeza sana kwa mtoto.
So sana sana utapata huyo mtoto ako na macho ya yellow. Ataanza na macho ianze kuwa yellow, ile pahali ya white itaanza kugeuka yellow. Alafu labda pia kwa ngozi wale ambaye kidogo si weusi sana unaweza ona kuwa imeanza kuwa pia yellow. Saa ingine pia tumbo kufura juu sasa hiyo ini pia inaenda kufura. So unapata mtoto tumbo kidogo inafura.
Umesema rangi ya yellow hiyo, labda ukitofautisha na jaundice, mtu atajuaje ni tofauti ya tatizo la ini?
So ni ngumu kusema that hii ni jaundice juu ya shida nyingine ama ni jaundice juu ya hepatitis ama biliary atresia. So kuna sababu tofauti ya hiyo yellow. Ndio maana akipatikana na hiyo shida sana sana tunaambianga mama alete mtoto hospitali
au afanye uchunguzi kwanza. Tukiangazia swali nyingine.
Kwa majina naitwa Juliet Omelo na nina swali kwa daktari. Na swali langu ni je, matibabu aina gani yanayoangaziwa kutibu magonjwa ya figo?
Kuhusu matibabu inalingana na ile shida ya hiyo
aina tofauti ama
ziko aina tofauti. Zingine hazihitaji hakuna tuseme matibabu specific. Ina depend na ile dalili mtoto ana present nayo. Alafu zingine zinahitaji upasuaji. So sana sana tutaangalia tuhakikishe mtoto akona maji ya kutosha kwa mwili, labda kukiwa na joto kwa mwili ama uchungu tunawapatia kitu ya kusaidia hiyo. Saa ingine tunaangalia kulingana na hizo test za ini za damu, kuangalia vile ziko ndio tujue kama atahitaji tuseme labda liver transplant ama zingine. Kama sasa tukiona shida kama hiyo biliary atresia sana sana inahitaji upasuaji.
Watoto wengi hapa nchini, labda kama kuna yule ambaye ushashughulikia kutokana na tatizo la ini, labda huwa wanaangazia matibabu gani sana? Watoto wengi wanaoathirika huwa ni matibabu gani sana?
So sana sana nimesema sana sana tunapata watoto wakiwa na either hiyo biliary atresia ambaye itahitaji upasuaji. Na inafaa hii upasuaji lazima ifanyike mapema. So kuna kwanga na time limit. Hii ya hepatitis sana sana nimesema ni viral. So hakuna like an exact treatment tuseme. Hakuna treatment exact ya hii hepatitis. Juu sana sana ni viral. So ni dalili tu tunatibu.
Na daktari, tukiangazia labda magonjwa haya ya ini, kuna njia labda tunaweza tukazuia mtoto kupatwa haswa kwa yule mwanamke ambaye labda ana tatizo ama ana ugonjwa wa ini?
Ndio, hiyo iko. So kuna vaccines kwanza kuna vaccines ya hepatitis B na vaccine ya hepatitis A ambayo inapeanwa kwa watoto wakiwa bado ni wachanga. Kitu ingine ni kuhakikisha mtoto, hata wale anaishi nao wengine, wanaosha mikono vizuri wakitoka chooni, wakitaka kukula chakula. Juu wasipofanya hivi wanaweza pata hiyo infection. Juu sasa kama wakikula chakula ambaye imecontaminatiwa wanaweza pata hiyo hepatitis.
Na shukran sana Daktari Lydia Patrick. Mtazamaji, huyo ni mtaalamu wa afya ya watoto na amekuwa akizungumzia swala hili kujibu maswali tu kuhusiana na magonjwa ya ini miongoni mwa watoto. Ni hayo tu kwa sasa. Shukran sana kwa muda wako na kwa wote waliofanikisha taarifa za NTV jioni. Shukran sana. Naitwa Nuru Abdul Aziz. Alamsiki.
This is NTV.
The Motindum liquid electronic device reaches every corner, giving your loved ones a peaceful sleep. Together, we can fight to end malaria.
Motindum, Kenya's #1 choice.
Tuko super on a hand. That's the stunt. That's the stunt. For nice and lovely lotion. That's the stunt. That's the stunt. Ni mekupata. Yeah. Ni mekuhata. Your skin is glowing. It's nice and lovely. Nice and lovely. Feeling great. Back to school I can.
crazy offers. Save up to 180 bob. Buy now at a store near you.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka. Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways. And Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Mortein Doom, with its trusted formulation, it provides protection in seconds. So spread the Mortein Doom message of how we, you and I, can fight to end malaria.
Mortein Doom, Kenya's #1 choice.
Don't let dark marks break your confidence. Let your melanin glow.
New innovation, L'Oreal Paris Glycolic Bright Serum, validated with dermatologists, inspired by peeling procedures, powered by glycolic acid. Acts deep and fast to reduce 5 years of dark marks in 2 weeks.
Glowing, even-toned skin for you.
New Glycolic Bright Serum, an innovation by L'Oreal Paris.
We're worth it.
Tired of endless scrolling? Say goodbye to the chaos. Introducing the all-new Business Daily website. Experience seamless navigation. Immerse yourself in a world of more videos and more podcasts. Discover more with our enhanced home pages. Engage like never before with our interactive tools. Join us and elevate your reading experience today. Business Daily. More possibilities.
This was murder.
Hiyo mwili ilikuwa imekatakatwa. Kwanza nakumbukaga vidole ya left ine hakukuwa.
Akaongea kwa machozi. Sasa wakati kesi ilianza, akatoa tena ushahidi tofauti.
Akamkamata, akamkatakata. Mwenye mbuzi akasema ako na nguvu sana, kateni yeye mguu. Nimestuka sana.
We were given a few minutes to send money. If we are not sending money, then her life will be taken away.
Sakiti yenye alikuwa nayo alikuja nayo hapa. Hizi tu hata kufika tu kwake ngumu.
Bari ameuawa wapi? Ameuawa aje?
Don't just start looking for the murderers from out there. Vile Waswahili wanasema kifulacho kiguoni mwako.
Are you curious about that dazzling look? How do you define beauty? And how to dress elegance, glitz, and glamorous. The Glam Show is here to answer all those questions and show you what's popping and what's the latest in the beauty and lifestyle world, because you need it. Look your best and fall in love with Into the Glam every single Saturday only on NTV.
This is NTV.
Kuingia mbuga ya kitaifa ya Aberdare, ilibidi tutafute kiingilio cha Kiandogoro, eneo la Ihithe, kaunti ya Nyeri. Kabla ya kuingia mbugani, tulipitia kwenye msitu wa Kiandogoro. Tuligundua kuwa mito inayotoka mbuga ya kitaifa ya Aberdare hufuata mkondo huu. Maji haya yakiwa masafi. Barabara hii inatarajiwa kupanuliwa na kuwa barabara kuu. Hii ina maana kwamba miti ya kiasili tunayoona kando kando ya barabara hii itakatwa eneo la upana wa mita 30 kila upande. Kulingana na shirika la huduma kwa wanyamapori KWS, mbuga ya Aberdare ni mojawapo ya chemichemi kuu za vyanzo vya maji hapa nchini na huchangia uchumi wa Kenya kwa thamani ya zaidi ya dola bilioni 90 kila mwaka.
The Aberdare as an ecosystem is the key water reservoir. One of the rivers that goes out of this is, for example, the Wasonyiro in the north of the Aberdare, and is supposed to be flowing all the way to Lorian Swamp within Wajir areas. Then you have the major river in the country, River Tana, where we have the Seven Forks Dam. Seven Forks Dam, for example, is a core supplier of electricity in the country. The dam that we have in Sasumua is all being recharged by the Aberdare from the Germany side, and that water is the one that is being used by industrialists in Nairobi, is being used by Nairobians in their households and in the town. So that's why we are saying the Aberdare is what Kenya needs.
Zaidi ya miongo miwili iliyopita, serikali iliongoza juhudi kuwahamisha wavamizi wa msitu huu wa Kiandogoro ambao pia walikuwa wanaingia mbugani ya Aberdare. Kwa jumla watu 1500 waliondolewa msituni. So you mean even this cover that we're seeing here, it was non-existent? It was clear.
That's eucalyptus? Yes. So everything is trying to recover.
Ili kuzuia uharibifu zaidi, KWS kwa ushirikiano na wafadhili wengine ikiwemo Nation Media Group ilijenga ua wa kilomita 400 kuzunguka mbuga hii. Lakini sasa huenda juhudi hizi zikaambulia patupu iwapo ujenzi wa barabara hii utatekelezwa.
We have an existing road from Nyandarua side through Donyonjeru to Mutubio Gate into the Aberdare and out of the Aberdare through Kiandogoro Gate and Ihide.
Kutoka kiingilio cha Kiandogoro kaunti ya Nyeri hadi kile cha Mutubio kaunti ya Nyandarua kupitia mbuga ya Aberdare ni safari ya kilomita 10 yenye mandhari ya kupendeza, mimea na wanyamapori wengi ambao huwa nadra sana kupatikana katika maeneo ya nyanda za juu hapa Mlima Kenya.
In terms of biodiversity composition and in particular fauna, fauna is animal varieties that you'll be able to find around, is that we have quite a number, including birds that are nesting around in this particular place. I think on our way up you saw the red-beaked francolin. That is only found within certain altitudes, higher altitudes of mountain areas. You have reedback, for example, reedback antelope that is only found very high altitude areas, especially within marshes and reeds and bogs within such an ecosystem like the Aberdare. Any turbulence going into the environment would have a direct or indirect effect on to how these animals then survive. Some of them use some of these particular ecotones or sub-habitats for breeding, use them for rearing young ones. So any disturbance to this ecosystem, then you will have to work very closely with park management for you to be so sure that the area that you are really disturbing has taken care of this kind of animals that live around.
Isitoshe, mbuga hii ina maeneo ya kitalii kama vyumba hivi na viwanja vya kukita kambi kwa wale wanaopenda kujivinjari msituni.
Tourism as we speak is, in my opinion, I think the third revenue earner to the country, and majority of the tourism in the country is wildlife driven. So the Aberdare, other than water, plays a critical role in being a reservoir for our wildlife, and this is also a crowd puller for the tourists.
Here we are at the fishing lodge. This is one of the birders in Aberdare National Park. We have 2 houses, as you can see. One house can hold 7 people. We have the waterfalls within this area.
We need to ask. Danger, so we need to add more and say at owner's risk.
Maporomoko ya Karuru ambayo ni kivutio kikuu cha watalii katika mbuga hii huangusha maji umbali wa mita 300. Yamkini mabango haya ni ilani muhimu kwamba mazingira haya ni hafifu mno na ni rahisi sana kuharibika.
The intention earlier by this agency of roads was to ensure this road goes into a highway standard, and I think that is where, as a conservation agency, we had our reservations. The design of the road, if at all it takes place, will encompass all these aspects of conservation, in essence of us maintaining the ecological value of the Aberdare ecosystem.
Wakazi wa kaunti za Nyeri na Nyandarua wanahisia tofauti kuhusiana na mradi huu wa kujenga barabara ya Ihithe kwenda Ndonyonjeru kupitia mbuga ya kitaifa ya Aberdare.
Aberdare is a water catchment area, and if we open up by that road, we are going to open doors for maybe the poachers, we have the farmers, and we have the grabbers, and also we will put the water tower at risk.
Hii tunafurahi sana kwa sababu kwa upande hii ya Central tutakuwa na maendeleo makubwa sana. Shakura ya kutoka Nyandarua itakuwa inaingia upande hii ya kwetu upande ya Nyeri, na pia na sisi tutakuwa tunapeleka vitu kama majani ya shai.
It's an infrastructure that will definitely deteriorate. I am trying to imagine over 100 hectares or more than that will be disturbed or destroyed by the construction of the road. So we have very critically endangered species of birds, of mammals, of reptiles that will definitely be affected.
We know there has been a lot of opposing voices around the construction of this road, mainly led by environmentalists and people who really do not understand the history of this area. That the people of this area, especially the people of Tetu, have for a long time been the custodians of this forest, and to insinuate that they would in any way destroy the ecosystem, to insinuate that they would in any way engage in things like bushmeat, hunting, or other destruction of trees, it is totally unfounded.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
For an exclusive 3x skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by black carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when it comes to that. To be able to change a child's life, to be able to bring back that confidence about their smile, for me, is phenomenal.
I trust Sunlight 2-in-1 washing powder to give my clothes a sensational clean and an uplifting fragrance. Sunlight. More than you expect.
Introducing a new range of Royco spices. An explosion of rich, authentic taste. Spicika na Royco. Making those good meals great.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin.
So ACC was registered about 24 or so years ago, and we work on specifically areas outside protected areas.
Kulingana na muungano wa wanamazingira nchini Conservation Alliance of Kenya, utafiti waliofanya kutathmini manufaa ya barabara hii kwa uchumi wa nchi yakilinganishwa na madhara kwa mazingira unaonyesha kwamba si sababu tosha ya kuendelea na mradi huu wa barabara. Isitoshe, huenda ikasababisha kuangamia kwa wanyamapori maalum.
And there will be the biodiversity impact. The number of trees that would be cut would work against Kenya's ambition in the 15 billion tree project, growing project launched by His Excellency the President. It will act against Kenya's commitment globally on our to make a 30% tree cover. It will contribute to the decline of species. That area, which is a higher moorland area in the Aberdares, has the rare bongo antelope. It has several elephants. It has very other forest species not found in other places. When you have a wide highway that is tarmacked, we have seen from previous studies, roads, people drive faster, and you have more road kills. So you will also lose in continuity wildlife that is knocked in trying to cross that road. We feel that the negative impacts actually outweigh the positive outcomes of having that road. And this has been backed by facts of the studies we have done.
Muungano wa CAK pia unasema taarifa ya athari za mradi huo kwa mazingira haikuhakikiwa kikamilifu na wakazi wa kaunti za Nyeri na Nyandarua.
They only interviewed villages at the point where the road enters Aberdares and villages at the point where the road leaves the Aberdares. Yet the promise of the road is being made to an entire county. There is no evidence that the areas that have high productivity in Nyandarua and Nyeri actually were interviewed. Because this proposed road is going to be on the moorland, which means the higher elevation of the Aberdares. A steep road, you cannot go fast as a flat road. When you calculate the speed limit they are proposing and the slower speed possible because of the steep elevation, the only time saving on a day with no wildlife that you need to stop for was coming to 15 minutes. So a time saving of 15 minutes, if you're destroying a water catchment, if you're losing wildlife habitat, if you're contributing to road kills, is really not an investment. It's actually a loss for the country.
Ziwa Naivasha ni moja ya maziwa makubwa kwenye bonde la Ufa na hutegemea mto Malewa wenye asili katika mbuga ya Aberdare. Wadau hapa wanasema ziwa hili litakuwa la kwanza kuathirika na mradi huo wa barabara.
We know that Lake Naivasha is a basin, is a Ramsar site. It is an international bird area. It is also a lake supporting quite a diverse activities or other investments in terms of fishing, in terms of flower growing, in terms of small-scale farmers, and also supporting the other biodiversity, which is the tourism sector. If really this project goes on, and take note, we are a water scarcity basin, and it depends on River Malewa to dilute the salinity of the lake so that it continues becoming fresh for use for farming, flower farm farming and all that.
Ziwa Naivasha ni kivutio cha utalii kaunti ya Nakuru na hutegemewa sana kwa kilimo cha maua ambayo huuzwa ughaibuni, mbali na kuwa kitovu cha uvuvi wa samaki.
If this road goes on, the same indigenous trees will also disappear. The issue of erosion will also be a great thing because we are not sure where that soil will be, how it will be managed. So when a storm rains, for example, all that soil will be swept into the lake. And the impact it will have to the lake is that it will continue reducing the depth of the lake. Water quantity will also be affected because if those streams will not flow again, then that means the amount of water coming into the lake will not be enough.
Kinaya ni kwamba kamati ya seneti ya mazingira inaunga mkono mradi huo, ikisema utapanua biashara kati ya kaunti za Nyeri, Nyandarua na nyinginezo jirani.
Ihithe Aberdare to Nyeri road is not a new road. The contention as it is now of the 64-kilometer road is a 5-kilometer gap that is passing through a moorland, because it will become the first road in the Republic that will pass through a moorland. As we conserve the environment, a natural resource should not then become cast to the people that are living around that natural resource. There were 8 stopgap measures that were put or were proposed by Kenya. Many of them you cannot repair your cars through that section between Mtubio Gate and Kiardongoro. You cannot. There will be litter bins everywhere. We are speaking about inter-county linkages. This road will link not only Nyeri and Nyandarua, it will link us with the Lower Eastern, all the way from Isiolo, Meru, some parts of now Nyeri, some parts of Laikipia, all the way to Nyandarua, to Naivasha, and then we shall have completed the whole corridor. If we do not open up counties, then our economies will not grow.
Mwenyekiti wa kamati ya mazingira katika seneti ni seneta wa Nyandarua. Je, msimamo wa kamati yake unatokana na shinikizo la mgongano wa kimaslahi?
If then it was conflict of interest, an argument was made that then we can get the 64 kilometers for Nyandarua County. If I was to argue as a politician, the 64 kilometers would give me political mileage when they are done in Nyandarua than the road itself, because a huge chunk of the road is passing through the forest. The only part of the road that will be in Nyandarua is less than 20 kilometers.
Miaka 14 iliyopita, mamlaka ya usimamizi wa mazingira NEMA ilisimamisha ujenzi wa barabara hii baada ya kuzingatia tetesi za wanamazingira na tathmini zake. Kauli yake sasa inasubiriwa tena kwa hamu kutoa mwelekeo.
It's the source of water for Nairobi, for most of these cities. Roads are good, but we need to look at it in a comprehensive manner. We'll also look at what has been proposed as mitigation measures. A number of experts have given views on this. So as NEMA will be guided by those views. We need a sustainable development, a sustainable project, and does not interfere with sensitive ecosystem like the moorland, because they're quite sensitive. So I think we need to look at it holistically and make decisions.
So when you add on the layer of climate change, it means it will only exacerbate what is already a delicate situation. So part of the efforts in fencing was to ensure we don't continue to lose any forest cover, to continue ensure we are restoring the areas that were degraded. Now, if we don't stem those, and what a road will do is continue to add to the fragmentation. Areas where you have high public use between an important biodiversity area, you end up losing trees, you lose species, you lose the ecosystem services. Even as Kenya is very committed, and we have put a goal to even decrease our carbon emission. One way to decrease carbon emission is that trees absorb the carbon from the emission, which these days is a tradable commodity. Kenya will be also minimizing its opportunities to trade in carbon by reducing the forest cover in some of these areas.
If business continues as usual, the way we are abstracting waters from our water bodies, the way we are developing as a country, we are not really careful with our water resources. And if business continues as usual, then we are set to be a water scarce country, and this country might turn up to be a desert.
NTV imebaini kwamba serikali imeshakata kauli kuendelea na mradi wa kujenga barabara ya Ihithe hadi Ndonyonjeru. Mradi huo utagharimu shilingi bilioni 8.8 kupitia mamlaka ya barabara kuu nchini Kenya. Je, athari zitaleta majuto baadaye ama utakuwa raha ya maisha kwa taifa? Pengine ni vizazi vijavyo vitaweza kupata jibu hakika miaka ijayo. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Is Dove better than ordinary soap? We're going to prove it. Take a bar of your soap and Dove. Use yours on one side, Dove on the other. The soap-washed part feels rough because soap dries your skin. The Dove side is softer, smoother, and more radiant. Why? Dove is different. With 1/4 moisturizing cream, it deeply nourishes for radiant skin all over. Try Dove and feel the difference.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 Complete Care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin.
Are you curious about that dazzling look? How do you define beauty? And how to dress elegant, glitz, and glamorous. The Glam Show is here to answer all those questions and show you what's popping and what's the latest in the beauty and lifestyle world, because you need it. Look your best and fall in love with Into the Glam every single Saturday only on NTV.
This Sunday on NTV.
We're coming to you from Tsavo in the county of Taita Taveta, home of the iconic red elephants of Tsavo. We have just spotted a huge elephant. Also a hot spot for human-wildlife conflict.
To the personally living here, there's no value.
But there are efforts to change this.
You realize that communities are the greatest investors within any conservation arrangements.
We need to see the benefits of conservancies coming directly to the person on the ground.
NTV Wild Talk, in partnership with the Nature Conservancy, protecting nature, preserving life.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
You are the one.
Como si te conociera de otra vida, porque solo con mirarte, créeme, ya sabía que serías dueño de mi corazón. Con mi compañera está bien, cómplice de nuestras tonterías. Prometo cuidarte, completar tu viaje y llegar a mi corazón. Decir, vayamos a un lugar lejos del mundo y que el corazón nos marque el rumbo. Porque contigo yo voy a donde vaya, contigo no me hace falta nada. Me gusta estar enamorada y por las noches en pijama besadita de ti. Porque contigo disfruto cada día, es que me encanta tener tu compañía.
Nilitumia kupanda mimea.
Wewe ulitumia kupanda mimea
na nikaweka kwa kahawa.
Na ukaweka kwa kahawa. Okay. Naomba ufungue simu yako. Kuna hizo SMS ambazo ulikuwa umepokea kutoka Wizara ya Kilimo. Ningependa ufungue, nataka kukuuliza maswali. Haswa kuhusu issue ya expiry ya siku 30 baada ya kupokea ujumbe mfupi. Umefungua?
Nimefungua.
Nataka uende kwa ujumbe wa tarehe 8 mwezi wa Septemba mwaka wa 2023. Uko hapo?
Niko hapo.
Aya. Hebu tusomee. ningependa tusome haraka sana hadi mahali ambapo panasema will expire in 30 days. Sasa kutoka juu, hebu tusome tu haraka, just that part.
Dear Bernard Kuria, you have a voucher code TDZT GJSC4F for 9 bags of top dresser. This voucher will expire in 30 days. Please visit your nearest NCPB or KNTC depot to redeem.
Na kulingana na huo ujumbe bado wa tarehe 8 Septemba, ulikuwa unapatiwa bags ngapi kwa hiyo ya tarehe 8 mwezi wa Septemba?
Nilikuwa napewa bag 9.
Bag 9.
Yes.
Twende kwa ujumbe wa January 2024.
January 2022.
So,
2024.
2024. Hebu tusome huo ujumbe.
You have successfully redeemed 7 bags of fertilizer from voucher code TDZ TGJSC4F.
Subiri kwanza kabla usome hiyo code. Niruhusu nikurudishe nyuma. Hebu tusome code ambayo iko kwa that first message ya tarehe 7 Septemba, kisha ende kwa huo ujumbe mwingine, alafu tusome hiyo code. Soma kwa utaratibu.
T
yes.
D Z T G J S C 4F.
Aya, twende kwa huo ujumbe mwingine na utusomee code pia kwa utaratibu.
T D Z T G J S C 4F.
4F. Na hiyo code ni the same as ile ambayo ilitumwa kwa ile ya tarehe 8 mwezi wa Septemba.
Yeah.
Are they the same?
Yes.
Are you sure they're the same? Confirm. Are they the same?
TD said no. Yes.
Aya, una confirm ya kwamba code ambayo ulitumiwa na ujumbe tarehe 8 ni the same as the code ambayo ulikuwa invited tarehe mwezi wa Januari mwaka huu kuredeem nayo fertilizer. Ilikuwa ni the same code.
Yes.
Kwa hivyo hiyo nikisema ya kwamba ile code ambayo ilitumiwa kukuita ununue mbolea mwezi wa Septemba ni the same code ambao wao wenyewe walitumia kukuitia the other consignment ambayo uliendea bag 7. Ni the same one?
Ni kweli.
Hiyo code ni wewe mwenyewe ulijitumia ama ulitumiwa?
Nilitumiwa. Na hapa chini naambiwa thank you Ministry of Agriculture.
Thank you Ministry of Agriculture. Kwa hivyo nikisema ya kwamba hii issue ya expiry haiarise ama haina any relevance, nitakuwa nasema ukweli. Nikisema ya kwamba haina relevance katika hii kesi kwa sababu hiyo the same code yenye ulitumiwa nayo ujumbe mwezi wa September ni the same code, the same people walikutumia nayo ujumbe mwezi wa Januari mwaka huu. Ni kweli?
Ni kweli.
Na ulisema ya kwamba hujui chochote kuhusu mswada ambayo uko mbele ya hii kamati, mswada ambayo uliweza kuwasilishwa na mheshimiwa Wamboka. Hujui chochote kuihusu? Okay. Na kwa nini uko hapa?
Niko hapa kwa kuwa ile fertilizer nimenunua haikufanya vile nilikuwa nataka ifanye.
Okay. Kwa hivyo unaweza sema ya kwamba hiyo fertilizer ilikuwa mzuri ama ilikuwa gushi?
Ilikuwa gushi.
Okay. Na ni kweli ya kwamba wewe uliweza kununua fertilizer?
Niliweza kuinunua.
Na ni kweli ya kwamba ulinunua fertilizer kutoka NCPB?
Yes.
Okay. Na matokeo yalikuwa gani kwa mimea?
Matokeo ni mbaya. Hata ile weed imetokea kwa shamba ya kahawa ni mbaya.
Ni mbaya. Okay. Kwa hivyo nikitamatisha, nikisema ya kwamba ushuhuda wako kwa ujumla ni kuambia kamati hii ya kwamba mbolea ambayo ulinunua kwa NCPB ilikuwa ni gushi. Nitakuwa nasema ukweli? Okay. Ni hayo tu kwa sasa. Thank you, honorable members. I rest.
Okay, now I want to give this opportunity to members in case any member has any clarification. It looks like members have agreed with senior counsel the issue of overworking. So we can lead the witness out and call the next witness. Senior counsel, you have something to say?
Or something.
Okay, Sergeant at Arms, you can bring the next witness. And the clerk can... Clerk, can you swear in the witness?
Hello. I, David Mainandegwa, do swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Mr. Ndegwa, your full names are David Mainandegwa, is that correct? What is it? What is it? Mr. Ndegwa, your full names are David Mainandegwa. That's it. Yes, Your Honor. Yeah. How old are you? I'm 55 years old. You're 55 years old, yeah. And you are a farmer, is that correct? Yes, I am a farmer. Where? I practice farming in Arumoro, Yes. which is in Nyeri County. Yeah. For how long have you been doing farming? I've done farming for the last 30 years, The last but 30 farming on my own is 4 years. Yeah. Now, you remember the law firm of Hamino took a statement from you. Is that correct? Yes. The statement is dated 7th May 2024. Is that correct? Yes, it is. And you signed it. Is that correct? Yes, I did. Yeah, you stand with by what you said in your statement. Is that correct? That's correct. And you are inviting this honorable tribunal to treat it as evidence before the Yes, tribunal. yes. Yeah, before the select committee. Yeah. And you are inviting them respectfully to treat it as honest, as an honest statement. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I'm offering him for cross-examination. Your Honor, it's page 230 to page 232. 230 to page 232. After submission, we're keeping my appendix back with them.
Okay, members, you have that statement from the witness. Counsel, you can cross-examine.
Good evening, Bona David.
Good evening to you.
Are you aware why this committee is sitting at this hour?
Yes, I do.
Why is it sitting?
It is sitting because Honorable the MP for Bumula has presented an impeachment motion against the Honorable CS for Agriculture.
Have you read that motion?
Haven't read the motion.
You haven't read it?
Yeah.
So you will agree, therefore, having not read it, you are in no position to help this committee to decide whether the Honorable Linturi is guilty of the things he's accused.
I don't think I'm here to decide whether he is guilty or not.
Good. Go to page 234, your witness statement was actually written after the motion had already been adopted by the assembly. Correct or incorrect?
Yeah, I wrote my statement after the motion has been read in Parliament.
This report, sir, you have attached at page 237. Are you the author of it?
Page 237. Yes, I'm not the author.
You are not the author?
I'm not the author.
And therefore, to the extent you are not the author, again, you cannot vouch for its accuracy, the methodology employed in generating it, the science even employed in generating it, isn't it?
I can't vouch on that.
You can't vouch for that, thank you. Bwana Mainandegwa.
Yes.
Are you registered in the subsidy fertilizer program?
Yes, I am.
Under what ID number? Because we have the names and phone numbers of the registered farmers, and yours is not one of them.
It is. You want me to read still my ID number? 9831-296.
Yes, and I'm putting it to you, sir, that number, your name, is not one of the farmers registered under this program. The one that is at the inquiry.
I bought fertilizer subsidy last year, and then my name must be in that register.
You are aware, sir, not everyone will just walk to the NCPB. We've just seen other witnesses. You need them to be registered, receive an SMS, receive a voucher. Have you placed any such material before this committee to show that you are one of the eligible farmers?
My role in this session is not to prove that I bought the fertilizer. The fertilizer that I bought, I'm not complaining about it.
Okay.
And because that was last year.
So you are not complaining, for the record, about the fertilizer that you bought?
The fertilizer that I bought, I'm not complaining about it, which I did last year.
Great. That's all from us, Honorable Chair.
Re-examination.
Yes, thank you, Chair and honorable members. Perhaps you could begin by admitting into evidence the reports that have been adduced by the witness between pages 237 to 246. And David, I'll ask you just a few questions in line with what my senior has asked you. How did you come across these reports? The reports that have been appended between pages 234, 237 to 246. How did you come across them?
I came at around November last year, I got a call from a lady called, who introduced herself to Cynthia Geshire. And when she called me, she told me that she's from African Uncensored. And the reason as to why she called me is because she was given my name by one of my colleagues in SOCA, which is Society of Agribusiness, Crops Agribusiness Advisors of Kenya, which I'm a board member. So she was given to my number by one of the members. And the reason as to why she was given that number, as she was told, is because I'm a practicing farmer and also I have knowledge about the fertilizer.
Okay. And you've mentioned Africa Uncensored. Would you just demystify this Africa Uncensored? You know, who is Africa Uncensored, or what is it? Please, fafanua.
Africa Uncensored, from what Cynthia explained to me, is a media company. And there is when she called me, I did not go into the details who they are, because
Honorable Chair, I'm trying to be a good boy, but I just can't. There were no questions asked in cross-examination about Africa Uncensored. I don't see how those questions can arise in re-exam.
Chair, what I'm trying to establish is how he came across the report. And as he was explaining, Africa Uncensored has come up. And I believe it's in the interest of the committee to know why he's referring to this Africa Uncensored. Because it is through Africa Uncensored, from what he's saying, that he got this report. So I believe what he's saying is unavoidable. He had to mention Africa Uncensored in explaining how he came across the reports.
Now, we earlier made a ruling and agreed that you can only address, at this point, you can only address matters that were part of the cross-examination.
Very well.
I'm finding it difficult, you know, because we just passed that a few minutes ago.
Very well.
So please proceed.
Okay, very well. I stand guided. Now, David, from the reports that appear between pages 237 and 246, are there any that are authored by you personally? The
yes, there is a report from my farm soil analysis.
Okay, let me repeat the question. Are there any that you authored personally, the reports? Are there any that you are the author?
No.
Okay. And what exactly was your role in these reports, the reports that we have appended in our bundle? What exactly was your role? If you were not the author, then why are these reports here before this committee? What was your role?
If I may explain that, when Cynthia called me, she said that she would like to interview me about a fertilizer called GPC. And she asked me whether I had any knowledge about GPC. And I told her that in one of the times that I went to Kiganjo, NCPB depot, to purchase fertilizer, I found several bags of GPC, and I looked at the content, and when it didn't suit what I was looking for, I didn't purchase. So I mentioned to her that I know about it, and she asked me whether I would agree to offer an interview so that I could make some clarification. And because I also train people and people visit my farm, I didn't find it any hard to invite her to come to the farm to see what she wanted to ask me about. That is the time she came with, she told me about that product she was referring to. She showed me the soil, and when she told me about the farmer's complaint, I asked her whether she had a soil analysis. The fertilizer analysis for the nutrition composition for that particular fertilizer she was alluding to. That is when she gave me this report. And the reason as to why I have reports from my farm is because I compared the nutrient composition and what she had shown me the bag contained. When I compared, I saw a great disparity. And I looked at my soil analysis report, which is not a fertilizer, and I found that my soil had, the soil from the farm had more nutrients than the alleged fertilizer.
So just to clarify, one, I think from what you're saying, your role in these reports was merely analysis.
Yes.
Was merely analysis. Yes. And also from what you're saying, I'm able to pick the fact that Cynthia approached you with a sample. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where was this sample from?
She came with that sample, and she said that it was the sample from GPC.
We object, Chair. Only Cynthia can come and tell you where she got the sample, the alleged sample. This witness, even if he were to tell you with the clarity he can, he'll be telling you hearsay on top of hearsay. I was told by Cynthia, who is not here, that she had the sample which she obtained from God knows where. We're just wasting your time. Nothing comes from such evidence.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Chair. I will withdraw that particular question. Back to the reports. Just in brief, what did you observe between the report that was given to you by Cynthia from Africa Uncensored and the report that was developed with regards to the soil in your farm? In brief, what was, the difference?
The report, when the analysis is done, it gives the nutrients composition. They can be expressed either as percentages or parts per million. In this case, when the fertilizer, when you want to compare the soil analysis, for example, if you doubt the fertilizer and you do the soil analysis, whatever is stated in the fertilizer bag should mirror what is in the soil analysis, in the fertilizer analysis. In this case, it didn't. But when I compared the soil and the nutrition analysis that was given to me by Cynthia, and I compared with the one that the soil analysis from my farm, the soil analysis from my farm was richer in nutrients than the purported fertilizer.
Okay, and still on the report, we are all lay people. I doubt there's any soil expert in the house. So just for purposes of clarification, I can see a column that has red, and I can see a column that has blue. What does that mean? Just in short,
what it means that, if I can draw you to that, there is that column for red. It shows when the nutrients are very low. And the soil analysis, the nutrition analysis always shows the guideline. It shows the results.
Again, Chair, we are forced to harass you, and I really wish I could stop doing this, but I must. Section 48 of the Evidence Act is the one that governs opinion evidence. This witness is being asked to interpret expert reports he didn't author, for studies he didn't undertake. When you read Section 48, it is only the expert who has authored that opinion that can come before you and tell you what the red means, what the purple means, what the blue means. This gentleman having, first of all, not even being established as an expert in that science in the first place, having not conducted the study himself, having not authored the purported expert report, everything he tells you is again hearsay on top of hearsay. But more important, it offends this time not just the rule against hearsay, but the rule against opinion evidence as set out in Section 48, as set out in Section 63 of the Evidence Act.
Counsel, we hear you, and I wish this had come in earlier, just confirm to us, you are an expert, because that has come into question. Are you an expert, an agronomist, or a soil expert?
I did agriculture in Bukura College of Agriculture. I've also studied a course called FACTS, which is a UK-based course. FACTS means fertilizer, advisors, certification and training scheme for any person who practices or advises farmers in UK. You must undergo that certificate of competence. When I was working in homegrown, I worked in homegrown after college, and I trained in that course, which is a UK-based course. So I'm a qualified fertilizer advisor. I've also done BASIS, which is British Agrochemical Inspection Standards, which qualifies me to be an advisor in crop protection.
Council, does that satisfy you?
No, because those are things he says. We have not seen those certificates. They are not attached to his witness statements. They are things he's saying. You can say anything you want. His supposed expertise has not been established, not on the record before you. But even assuming for argument's sake, it had been established, he did not undertake any of the studies contained in the report. It is only the person who did those studies, who authored that report, that can give evidence as to what it contains, that can, for purposes of his testimony, give you the opinion that he is now purporting to give you. And if indeed he's an expert, then why didn't he do the honorable thing, prepare a report, then we can confront him? How do we now confront him on a report added to him by Cynthia, who is not here, authored by God knows who? It is just unfair. It is illegal.
Councillor Judy, what do you have to say on that?
I'd like to clarify that by asking my witness just one question. In your ordinary course of business, what exactly do you do? Do you generate the reports, or do you analyze the reports?
I analyze the reports.
Thank you.
And maybe to answer clearly, in horticulture, like in my farm, I grow crops for export. The farm is Global Gap certified. So when any expert in agriculture in this country, you take samples which are taken to the lab. Soil samples are taken to the lab. And then the report is taken to an expert for interpretation.
Thank you.
Council, the time that was allocated, you can see our clock has run to 0. So you might need to wind up.
Yes, just a very final question, if I may. David, I'd like to ask you, does the National Cereals and Produce Board sell any other type of fertilizer apart from the one in question under the National Fertilizer Subsidy Program? Do they only sell fertilizer under the NSFP, or they also sell other fertilizers?
They sell a variety of fertilizers.
Okay, thank you. Unless the committee has any more questions, we rest.
Honorable members of the Select Committee, any questions or clarifications from the witness? This is an opportunity for the members of the committee. Is there any of you with any issue? And the council had arrested the witness. You know, senior counsel, we had agreed that we would have one counsel doing the cross-examination and one doing the re-examination. We had concluded, and the
of his statement. Yeah,
There's this statement from page 195. I think it's page 192. Correct.
And Senior Counsel, remember you had told us you don't want us to be here up to 2 a.m., so maybe you can hasten. Okay, thank you. Witness Maina, members have no questions for you. So, Sergeant at Arms, you can lead the witness out.
Thank you.
And then you can call any, if there's any other witness, you can call them.
Just before we call another witness. How many?
Honorable Murugara?
Yes, because the presenters have evaluated the evidence vis-a-vis the motion, because I'm unable to link the two. And if anybody has applied his or her mind to that, there is a question lagging as to whether really these witnesses are relevant to what is before us.
I think, Honorable Member, when we retire to make a decision, what you are raising may be what you need to raise at that point. Because it is the sponsor who has to convince you, not you to convince him to convince you. Honorable Chepkonga.
Chair, it is their case. It is for us as a tribunal just to show fairness. And you know, we read the relevant section, Article 47 of the Constitution. If they want to bring as many as they wish, we are here to listen.
But remember, the key word is relevance.
Honorable Murugara.
Relevance. That is the key word. We cannot just say you can bring anybody from anywhere on anything. Relevance. That's my worry.
Chair,
I'm sorry,
Chair,
it's a concern I was raising.
Chair, I think on the issue of relevance,
relevance.
I think we discussed this yesterday.
We need everything and go in depth if possible. Let the sponsor bring his people so we can analyze later. We cannot start dismissing and talking like this. That is questionable as well.
Honorable Tandaza.
Let's proceed, Chair, for the sake of time.
Clerk, you may administer the oath.
I, Sami Kiptum Birigen, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Birigen, you can speak English. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, of course, if you want to change, you can always say so. Now, how old are you?
I am 56 old.
You are 56 years old. And you are a farmer, is that correct?
I am a farmer, correct?
Yeah, where?
At was in Kishu County, Cheptiret location.
Yes. And how many acres of land do you have?
5 acres.
5 acres of land.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, you remember you came to the farm of Kamino and you made a statement, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. And the date of the statement is 6th May 2024, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, you signed the statement as being correct, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, you are inviting this select committee on, respectfully that they adopt your statement, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, probably just before, this is your signature.
I confirm, Your Honor.
Yeah, you confirm this your signature.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm offering Mr. Birigen for further.
Counsel?
Good afternoon, Wanasami.
Good afternoon, sir.
Or is it evening already?
I'm okay.
Yes. My name is Morioki. I'm an advocate. I will ask you a few questions.
Welcome.
First of all, have you read and understood this motion and its purpose?
Your Honor, I have not read. But
You have not read. Thank you. You say that you have been a farmer since 1989.
Correct.
On a 5-acre farm.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yet you have not presented to this committee any proof to support this claim.
Your Honor, that one was not required.
You have not presented any title deed or any certificate of lease or anything to actually show that you're a farmer.
It was not required, but we have the documents.
Okay.
I have a title deed considering.
But is it here? Is it attached to your statement?
I didn't do that.
Thank you. It is not. You say that on the 17th of February.
Yes, Your Honor.
You received a message from somewhere.
Yes, called e-subsidy.
Uh-huh. You have not put before this committee any such message, have you?
I did, Your Honor.
You did. Where is
and
that
also
message?
I have in my phone, and I'm with my phone here.
And as you say that you have it on your phone, you have not offered any certificate of electronic evidence to show how or the custody of possession of that message, have you?
I think it was not necessary for me, Your Honor.
Thank you. You say you received a message on your Safaricom line from the Ministry of Agriculture, but you have not put any certificate of electronic evidence for that one as well.
But already the messages, we printed out the messages, and I hope you have there, Your Honor.
You will agree with me, Bonasami, that without any such certification, there's no way for this committee to know that that message is actually what you say it is.
Your Honor, it is a common knowledge that as farmer, you don't actually go into details of everything. Because normally they come for us, we do it, and we follow as required.
So the simple answer to my question is that you have not presented any such certificate that would authenticate your claims, right? You claim that you went to the National Cereals and Produce Board to retrieve some fertilizer.
I don't claim, I'm saying the truth, Your Honor.
Well enough. But you have not given this committee any corroborating evidence to actually support that claim.
The e-subsidy messages had no anything else. We had somebody from the Ministry of Agriculture going around with the assistant chief or Nyumba Kumi or Msewa.
Let me rephrase. Apart from your word of mouth, there is no other way for us to actually ascertain that this claim is true.
But I have the phone which has all the evidences.
But you have not presented any delivery notes or any such other document that would support this claim?
In e-subsidy,
No. My question is, you have not presented any other document that would actually support that claim. True or false? It's either you have or you have not.
The National Cereals and Produce Board does not issue any receipts unless through the e-subsidy message.
I'm not interested in an explanation. I'm interested in a yes or no. Have you placed? It's simple. Have you placed or have you not placed?
I've not placed, but
Thank you.
Given the message.
For whatever reason,
that
is up to you.
Honorable TJ, I can hear you shouting behind
protect the witness.
the witness is saying that he's on e-platform, and in
Yes.
that e-platform, there is nothing else that is being given except the message that he receives.
Correct, Your Honor.
So just leave with that
Your
answer.
Honor.
That is the
Honorable
answer.
Chair, there is nothing wrong with just saying I haven't, and we
No,
proceed.
no, don't harass a witness to give you a particular answer you want.
Well then, sir, show us what other corroborating evidence you have placed before this committee to show that you actually picked those 8 bags of fertilizer.
Your Honor, apart from the e-subsidy messages, I brought in samples for the fertilizer, for the fake fertilizer. I have also pictures to show what I collected. Serious and produce what?
You claim that you purchased that fertilizer from the National Cereals and Produce Board.
Correct, Your Honor.
How can this committee, or rather, there's no way for this committee to actually ascertain that the fertilizer you are referencing and the fertilizer that was at the National Cereals and Produce Board is one and the same thing, is there?
Unless the National Cereals and Produce Board says the e-subsidy is not theirs.
You have further claimed that you planted in 2 weeks, the maize germinated, but it did not grow beyond the height of the knee.
Correct, Your Honor.
Are you aware that apart from fertilizer, there are many, many other factors that may cause the maize to be stunted in growth?
Your Honor, with the experience I have since 1989, it is enough actually for me to know, because I have been doing that for a long time. So I know the time and how to plant and how it grows.
Differently put, there are many other reasons that maize may not grow. Is that right or not right?
But the year was very good, Your Honor.
That is not what I asked. I am asking. There are many, many reasons that could lead to maize not growing.
But as a farmer, Your Honor,
let's just proceed.
Okay, thank you.
You say that on paragraph 16, on checking,
yes, after applying.
You have not explained in your paragraph what normal top dressing is and what abnormal is, correct?
I explained, Your Honor.
All right. Be that as it may, you have not placed any material before this committee to actually substantiate that claim that it was abnormal. There is no analysis, there is no report from any experts.
Your Honor, you are going beyond my effort. That one is beyond me.
All right.
I trust you on what.
What type of fertilizer did you collect from
Mavuno
the NTV?
fertilizer, Your Honor.
Mavuno.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware that in the impeachment, Mavuno fertilizer at all?
Impeachment? I'm not even aware about impeachment.
You've not read. Fair enough, fair enough. You say that after several hours you noticed that the fertilizer was not dissolving?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Normally, when you apply top dressing fertilizer, it takes only between 2 hours and 6 hours. It is not there.
And to support that claim, you say that you have presented a photograph.
Correct, Your Honor.
I put it to you that the process of dissolving of fertilizer is a continuous process And a photograph cannot be useful in proving or disproving that fact.
It is up to this house, Your Honor, to go and see, because I still have it in my stores, and it is still visible in the farm to date.
You claim that you have incurred losses of up to 74,000.
Correct, Your Honor.
Have you placed before this committee any receipts or any other documentary evidence that would support this claim?
I've just enumerated, Your Honor.
So we have no way of verifying this claim?
As a business, as a farmer, Your Honor, and as we trust the government, we normally say they are giving us the right things for the right time. So we don't suspect anything, that we prepare for anything. We prepare to harvest.
All right. Paragraph 22 of your statement, you make reference to fake fertilizer.
It is because normally fertilizers dissolve. This one is not dissolved.
But you have not placed before this committee any analysis, any scientific analysis to prove that the fertilizer was indeed fake.
With the experience, to me, that was fake fertilizer, Your Honor. That was my experience.
You also claim that the so-called fake fertilizer will continue to affect the productivity of your farm.
Yes, of course, Your Honor, because I don't know the chemicals actually which was made.
But you have not placed before this committee any reports from any experts to actually support that claim.
I think, Your Honor, after today, then this house will assist me actually to analyze if what I am saying is true.
Mr. Witness, sir, I put it to you that this house is not an agricultural expert. It is a house of parliament. You also claim that the maize grown on your farm will not be safe for consumption.
Correct, Your Honor, because I don't know the chemicals I have used.
But you have not placed before this committee any material that would support that claim.
It is the same question you have asked me, Your Honor.
So it is just your assumption?
Not assumption, Your Honor.
Finally, before I yield the remainder of my time to my colleague, in this statement of yours, there is nowhere where you have made any specific allegation against the Honorable Cabinet Secretary, right?
I don't know even the Cabinet Secretary.
Sorry?
I don't know even the Cabinet Secretary, Your Honor.
Please answer my question. There is nowhere in this statement
I don't know
where
even
you have made
I don't know even
any
the process,
allegation.
Your Honor.
Sorry?
I don't know even the process.
Chair, I request for your protection because that is an escapist answer. I put it to you that there is no allegation in your statement at all against the Cabinet Secretary.
I'm not pinning anybody for this, but because I have seen, with experience, I have been using fertilizer. It is not true. So I'm coming to this committee to find out the truth.
Thank you, Chair. I yield to my colleague.
I thought we had agreed earlier that one council will process and then finish.
That's correct. Chair, we have no further questions.
Re-examination?
Now, Gilgan.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have done very well. Yes. Now, may I refer you to page 206? Page 206.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Can you read it? Read it loudly.
Dear Sami Giptum B, instead of Birgen, you have an updated FOIA code D693-5JRE for 8 bags. This FOIA will expire on 24/03/03. Please visit your nearest NCCV depot to redeem. The date was 17/02/2024, 00:25 African time. Thank you, Ministry of Agriculture.
What is it about?
This was letting me know that I have been given 8 bags of fertilizer.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Is that all that you can say? Anything else you want to say?
And this is a genuine e-subsidy message from NCPP.
Thank you, very good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah. Now, 207. Could you read it loudly, dear?
Dear Sami Kiptum, Birgen, you have a forger code TTU Z459 RF8 for 8 bags of top dresser. This forger will expire in 30 days. Please visit your nearest NCPP depot to redeem, which was coming on 14 March 2024 at 23:41:27 seconds. That was almost in the midnight from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Yeah. What is it about?
It was also calling me to collect it of tracing, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, 208. What is that 208?
This is an M-Pesa message, and the first one was me collecting the top tracer, because when I went there on 19, the line for collecting planting fertilizer was too long. It was hectic, so I decided to collect it at top tracer, because at the end of the day I should have line. I collected the top tracer, and then on 20th I collected also the planting fertilizer.
Thank you, very good. Now, the next one, page 209. What is that, St. Paul's University?
This is my daughter, Your Honor.
Your daughter? Your
This is my
daughter,
daughter,
St.
my
Paul?
blood daughter.
Your blood daughter?
The one I love, Your Honor.
The one you love?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old is she?
She's about 21 now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well done. How old are you?
I am now 56, Your Honor.
Yeah, and...
Chair, with your kind permission, I must object to that, as those issues never came out in cross-exam.
They are in the statement. They are in the statement. Yeah. She is... what, is she doing a degree or what?
She's doing a degree, Your Honor.
Well, which degree is this?
We have the proverbial white smoke. In some good news for a change, doctors have called off their strike pending some issues. More detail on that, as well as white smoke for parents who have now a sense of when the second term will start, and white smoke for watu wa sherehe, long weekend loading, but with a view to plant trees. All that and more on the other side of these news highlights.
The strike that began on 13th of March 2024 has been called off.
Relief for ailing Kenyans. 2-month-long doctor strike ends with the signing of a return to work formula. Also tonight,
all schools will be opened on Monday next week, and therefore parents must prepare their children to go to school.
Hatuko ready wanafunzi kurudi shule.
Ready or not, schools reopen next week amid misgivings over the safety of learners. And
he did not follow that which the Constitution expected him. On the basis of that only, he needs to be home yesterday.
You look at the matter on the basis of evidence and the fact.
Blow to CS Mithika Linturi after committee dismissed petition to quash impeachment motion with the CS's character on trial on day 1 of the trial. And sharp revenue turns plague supplementary budget too. Will the floods disaster upstage austerity efforts? On the money tonight.
Live from Nation Centre, this is NTV Tonight with Olive Burrows.
Olive Burrows in the company of one Flora Atieno, our sign language interpreter. Opinion among parents and school managers is divided over the president's announcement that schools resume next week. While some fear for the safety of the learners, others are in support of the directive, saying the education calendar had been disrupted by the rains. Our education reporter, Rukia Bule, is on the beat.
After a 2-week delay, President William Ruto has directed the schools reopen on Monday, May 13.
Tumekubaliana kama serikali ya kwamba kwa sababu wale weathermen wametuambia ya kwamba sasa mvua itazidi na kwenda chini, na hatutaki watoto wetu wakose nafasi pia ya term ya kusoma.
However, the directive has elicited varied opinions among both parents and educators. The bone of contention is the safety of learners in schools affected by flooding.
Some of these classrooms are filled with waters. The roads that the peoples are passing are not safe. Actually, when we lose one life, we'll blame the government for this.
Hapo nanga skuli ukienda kwa choo, unapata choo zote zimetoka nje, hiyo minyaga inatoka nje zote.
Some parents say they're simply not ready to take their children back to school with the current state of flooding.
Vile tunaweza kufungua shule Monday na kitabu ya watoto pia zilienda na maji.
The case is unique in Baringo County, where some schools are still being inhabited by internally displaced persons. Victims of Moinonin, Baringo North, sought refuge in school after the IDP camps were destroyed by floods. Other schools are too far from the IDP camps and too dangerous for the learners to walk alone in the bandit-ridden territory. The roads have also been destroyed by the floods. However, some parents have welcomed President Ruto's decision to reopen schools as they believe time is ticking for the children who are supposed to be in school already.
Vema tukumbuke ya kwamba hawa wanafunzi ambao wanafanya KCSE ndio pia waliathiriwa na janga la corona. Kwa hivyo mimi naona ni jambo la busara na tunampongeza sana rais.
Concerned parents and leaders have urged the government to pool resources and rebuild damaged learning facilities. Torrential rains are expected to continue until end of May, but the intensity of the downpour is expected to fall next week. Rukia Bule, NTV.
The search operation to recover the bodies of 2 sisters who drowned while crossing River Ndarugu in Nakuru County is still ongoing. In Muranga County, a special team from the KDF has joined in the recovery mission to help retrieve the body of a man who died after his car plunged in River Sagana a week ago. Our reporter Gabriel Kudaka with the details of the aftermath of the devastating floods that have so far killed 257 people.
The search for the bodies of 2 sisters, Faith Chepto and Sharon Chepngetich, is still going on hours after they drowned in River Ndarugu in Nakuru County. According to Sigotik Sub-Location Assistant Chief Sami Kirui, who spoke to NTV on phone, the elder sister drowned while attempting to rescue her sister who had slipped and fell into the river. They were swept by the raging floods. And almost a week after failing to recover the body of a man who died after his car plunged into River Sagana, a special team from the KDF has joined in the recovery mission. Residents of Sagana, with the help of local divers, have been trying to retrieve the body and the car to no avail.
Kuna watchman aliona mataa
hiyo mataa haikuvuka kwa bridge ya kuelekea Sagana, na alafu akasikia sauti ni kama gari imeanguka.
Tuweke mikakati ya kwamba Kenha kuwe na vile wataweka baria hapa, hata kama ni guardrails kutoka kule juu mpaka hapa chini.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Red Cross, in collaboration with other agencies, donated non-food items to victims of floods in Kiambu.
We have a total of 540 people who have been displaced. Majority of them have relocated from their ordinary residence.
Tumewaletea blanketi, tumewaletea mtungi wa kubeba maji safi na pamoja na sleeping mats.
The government says the death toll has hit 257 after 19 more people were killed by floods across the country in the last 24 hours. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
We move away from the floods and train our eyes on one Mithika Linturi, and his fate is in the balance as Parliament considers whether or not to back an impeachment motion against him. With the latest on those intrigues is Melita Oletenges in studio live. Melita, I believe I witnessed one Jack Wamboka testifying today. What stood out for you?
Well, Olive, initially Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi, through his lawyer Muthomi, actually wanted witnesses and more evidence to be struck out, indicating that Wamboka had not presented this in the initial impeachment motion, and that was later actually struck out by the chair of the committee, Naomi Wako.
Honorable Chair, we urge you to reject that request for additional witnesses. We will deal with the question of the defective affidavit, given that I've already run out of my time.
We are properly here with our witnesses because there's no other place that we would have taken our witnesses apart from this committee. The very work of this committee is that.
Olive, both parties have been allowed to present witnesses, and this evening we've had farmers presented by Jack Wamboka actually testifying before the committee. But earlier we witnessed also what emerged as quite a dramatic twist as Mithika Linturi actually accused his former or ex-lover and the Member of Parliament for Aldai, Marian Kitany, of actually being behind his tribulations.
That these are grievous matters of national importance to be reduced to love matters. Ukiachwa, achika. Achika. It is indeed unfair to keep dragging the good lady, my sister, Marianne, into these matters. She has a right kukukata, kukukubali, has a right kukukata, kukukubali. Allow her to proceed on.
When counsel for the mover accepts in before this committee that was called, was having a discussion with the so-called, with the person that we are referring to as a proxy, one wonders what is it that was being discussed. So, members of this committee, I would want to say one time that as we look into this matter, let us really look at the matter on the basis of evidence and the fact. I am ready to defend myself.
Olive, that is day one in a nutshell. The hearing continues tomorrow when we expect rather Mithika Linturi to appear and face the select committee. What will be his take tomorrow?
All right, thank you for that update, Melita Oletenges. I did mention at the very start onto our top story that there is white smoke, and that is white smoke where the doctors' strike is concerned. They have been on strike for 56 days. And Helen Aura has been following the negotiations. Some of, rather, the most sticky issue, let me put it that way, the stickiest issue has been the question of posting of interns. The parties had not agreed on that. But let's see what Helen Aura reports on as far as what the deal struck states where that issue is concerned.
The melodious tunes from the choir at the Kenyatta International Convention Center set the tone right into the joyous occasion that was long overdue, calming the nerves after a negotiation journey that has been marked by highs and low lows. Today, the 56 days of the ongoing doctors' strike has been commemorated by the signing of a return-to-work formula by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, the county governments and the national government.
We had a very long meeting today with our National Advisory Council, that is the highest decision-making organ. And they endorsed that we signed this particular return-to-work formula today, so that it can pave way for the doctors to resume work within 24 hours from now. And that means the strike that began on 13th of March 2024 has been called off.
I want to urge all of us for now to focus on service delivery and make your rightful contribution to realization of UHC. The country has waited anxiously for 54 days to see you back to work, and they have a right to demand and expect to be served without further delay.
On Monday, the Labour and Employment Court in Eldoret had issued an order for both parties to reach an agreement by Wednesday, or it would take up the matter, a move which finally led to the parties involved to reach an agreement.
Even though there is a medal at the end, the other side, the losses along the way are just too heavy to even celebrate that when. And since we've been here before, my word of play will be that we should never find ourselves in such a situation.
It is easy to put a signature on the paper. It is easy for KMPDU to just pick the mic and say we have called off the strike. But the real work begins now.
The only issue which has not been fully resolved is the payment of medical interns, 206,000 shillings, according to the 2017 Comprehensive Bargaining Agreement.
Kenyans can now breathe a sigh of relief after 56 tumultuous days of doctors downing their tools. The agreement signed today will allow doctors to return to work, while at the same time allow KMPDU and the national government to continue with negotiations over the posting and payment of medical and dental interns within a period of 60 days. Helen Aura, NTV.
Family and friends of veteran journalist Dorothy Kweyu are appealing to Kenyans for help in raising 150 million Kenya shillings to save the life of her son Stephen Bertrand Munyaho, who is facing execution in Saudi Arabia. Munyaho has been in prison in the Middle East for the last 13 years after he was convicted of killing his workmate Abdul Halim Mujahid, I beg your pardon, a Yemeni citizen, on April the 9th, 2011 in a workplace altercation. He had initially been sentenced to 5 years for manslaughter, but a Sharia court upgraded it to death following an appeal by the victim's family. The huge amount of money, referred to as blood money, must be paid by Wednesday, May 15th to secure his release.
Bertrand Munyaho, ambaye ingawa mwezi juzi aligonga miaka 50, naweza kusema bila uoga kwamba Steven nilimlea ilivyostahili na ni mtu mpole sana. Hata saa hii ukiongea naye utajua kwamba ni mtu mpole sana, mtu mwenye upendo, mtu mkarimu.
The pay bill number is 8056675. Then you put your account name. Alternatively, you can send money directly to Steve's mother on M-Pesa number 0702 878717.
We wish the family all the best in that effort. And for more detail on Stephen's plight, visit the ntvkenya.co.ke website under 12 minutes. We take a break, but coming up on the other side, On the Money.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by black carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
We invite you to join us in the Green City Under the Sun as we converge to discuss the critical role of data governance in the realization of Africa's digital transformation. Hosted by the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner in conjunction with the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, the Network of Data Protection Authorities AGM and conference at the Windsor Hotel and Golf Club from the 7th to the 9th of May 2024. This year's conference will be graced by His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto. We are hosting a hybrid conference aimed at strengthening our collaborative approach towards data protection frameworks of member states. Don't miss out on the opportunity to network, exchange knowledge, and gain new perspectives from industry experts and leaders from across the world. Visit www.nadpaconference.odpc.go.ke for more information.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 Complete Care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy-looking skin.
Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco has grown from humble beginnings to one of the best cooperative societies in the country. The Sacco offers affordable loans with low interest rates.
We are very convenient in the process of our credit facilities. We have created customer-driven, customer-centric products and services.
If you want to borrow a loan in Shirika Sacco, within 24 hours, your money is in the account.
Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco has also embraced effective, efficient, and customer-friendly digital services.
We have the members portal, the ATMs, and the USSD.
Nikitaka pesa, natumia ile code ya withdraw pesa kwa M-Pesa, alafu naletewa pesa kwa simu.
Wakati nilikuwa kazini, nilikuwa nachukua loan, nalipa inaisha, nachukua ingine inaisha, na naendelea tu.
Shirika is good, not just good, very good.
Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco, celebrating 55 years as your financial empowerment partner.
Schalke are one of the biggest and most iconic football clubs in Germany, who were a staple in the Bundesliga for over 3 decades. The Royal Blues regularly competed in Europe and run a famed youth academy with German internationals and World Cup winners graduating from D. Knappenschmiede. But it's been a dramatic fall from grace for Schalke, who are in the midst of a crisis of alarming proportions and facing an uncertain future.
Eldora Technical Training Institute. Enroll now in our ongoing May 2024 intakes in the following diploma, certificate and artisan programs. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725 818 644. Eldora Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV tonight. This week on The Money, we shift focus to Supplementary Budget 2 ahead of the national budget reading and tabling in Parliament. With significant expenditure slashes, this supplementary budget faces sharp revenue outturns and significant considerations such as disaster and emergency funds allocations. NTV's Julian Amboko sat down with economist Churchill Odwor, and he started by asking what his highlights from the budget are.
Looking at the supplementary budget headline figures, it looks to me like Treasury was on a mission to correct the expansion we saw via Supplementary Budget 1, because if you look at it, there's a bit of reduction in the budget for the financial year currently. I don't know what you make of the headline figures from the supplementary budget.
There's a net reduction of 46 billion, but how to look at it is quite interesting because there's some reduction on the recurrent spending, and also there's been an increase in recurrent spending, and there's been a reduction, a significant reduction in development spending. So, and if you look at even supplementary one, that was pretty much what played out. That recurrent goes higher. Development, there's been a bit some significant reduction in that in the development spending. But if you look at the genesis around supplementary budget 2. This was part of the IMF program conditions, structural benchmark, that by March of this year, we should have received supplementary 2. But by then, it was hinged on lower revenue outturn by that point, by December last year. And there was a need of now having some corrective measures on the revenue side and also reducing the expenditure. So I think if you look at the supplementary budget 2, it has sort of penciled in that. But over and above that, I don't think that there's some urgency within the context of the IMF program, because we're seeing some newer emerging issues being baked into the supplementary too. We're seeing things like El Nino, we're seeing things like floods and emergency spending. This had not been envisaged by the time the IMF program or by the time the IMF report came out in January. So I think that it was a way of just taking advantage of what has happened right now and now bringing supplementary too. In the whole balance of things, if you look at the spending reduction to the national government, that is to the executive, judiciary, and legislative, negative 46 billion reduction vis-a-vis the revenue outturn for the first 9 months. I expected some bigger reduction in spending, so negative 46 billion is quite low. Obviously, when you look at the consolidated fund services, that is now the interest payments and the other salaries, pensions and all that. There's also some significant reductions, I think to the order of 21 billion in terms of the the interest payments. There's been reduced by around 46 billion. And then the other consolidated fund services by another 21 billion. So I think that is where you can say that that's where the significant cuts came about.
Speaking about the revenue, Churchill, massive downgrades on that side. If I could just run through them. Target for revenue, total revenue has been slashed by 5.3% to 2.89 trillion shillings. Ordinary revenue slashed by 4.84% to 2.45 trillion. If you look at the various tax heads, the largest slash I was seeing was coming from import duty and excise, slashed by 17.8 and 17.6% respectively. It looks like we're having a very tough financial year from a revenue outturn perspective.
Look at the outturn between July to March of this year. The actual collection vis-a-vis the target is around 270 billion. That is that is within the total revenue. Yep. Ordinary revenue 255 billion, shy of the targets. At least appropriation in aid was just shy of 15 billion thereabout. So that now speaks to your numbers that you're talking about, that because of the outturn that we've seen and just remaining with 3 months, obviously there's a need of scaling down the revenues, at least on the ordinary revenue side. So I looked something like a reduction of 100 billion. So if you look at the target, revised target in terms of the ordinary revenue for the current financial year, 2.43 trillion, that is within the quantitative performance criteria within the IMF program, which is around 2.42 trillion, 2.42, revised target is 2.43 trillion. So that's, I'm still doubtful they'll be able to get it. And we all know that the 7th reviews is still ongoing. Yes. So we might see some refacing or some revision on the quantitative targets in terms of the tax revenue to be collected in this
under the IMF program.
Within the IMF program, yeah, because the targets for end of June, the tax revenue within the quantitative performance criteria will be the basis of the next review. So obviously it will be within the Kenyan authorities to at least revise it at least to more meaningful level, so that once the next review comes in from around November thereabout, at least it may give them some much more, the review will give it some much better shape, in my view. Yeah.
9 months in the current financial year, off target by about 270 billion. I still think the revenue outturn will be in the 95% horizon. Reason being, two things we have this time in this financial year. We have the voluntary tax disclosure program coming to an end, but more importantly, we have the tax amnesty program, which is also running. So don't you think those ones still could give us a bumper collection in the last quarter?
And we are getting into the final quarter of this current financial year, whereby we normally have some 2 outlier months. That's April and June. So there's some scope that we can now be able to, can be able to reduce that eventual deficit that is being envisaged. But then again, if you look at it as at March, the target, the deficit was 1.5 trillion. Right now, in the context of supplementary 2, it's around 1.4 trillion shillings that needs to be met. I don't think that even in the most bullish scenario, we may now be able to realize 1.4 trillion in 3 months. I highly doubt that will be the case. So based on that, obviously 95% is normally an A for you. I look at my threshold is 90%, so that's normally where our divergence is.
Good evening, my name is Nina Shaban. Let's take a look at more business news. In a continent where agriculture is a lifeline for millions, the deteriorating soil health in African nations presents a pressing challenge. Over the past few decades, the quality of soil in many regions of the continent has been declining due to various factors, including unsustainable farming practices, deforestation, and climate change. As a result, farmers face reduced yields, which in turn threatens food security and economic stability. And as NMG's sustainability editor Zainab Bandati now reports from the sidelines of the Africa Fertilizer and Soil Health Summit, farmers have been urged to combine both organic and inorganic fertilizers in order to boost their yields.
With only 20% of Kenya considered arable, the country's fertile farmlands are facing a silent threat: deteriorating soil health. This isn't unique to Kenya. In fact, across Africa, a staggering 65% of agricultural land is degraded as soil acidity increasingly becomes a problem due to overuse of synthetic fertilizers.
You can see the extremely acid areas. You can see very strongly acidic. Now our brain basket is here. This is West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, all the way Kisii, Narok. You can see it is strongly acidic. So that's why we recommend that we use non-acidifying fertilizer on those areas. And non-acidifying fertilizer and also liming. We have not emphasized liming much, but we need to really creation of lime, so that we can ameliorate that problem of acidity. Because you can see it's quite acidic. You see it too is terrible.
Yeah. Very acidic.
Very acidic. Yes. That's extremely.
So the only good places are the places shaded green on the map?
Yes. But you can see most of these areas, most of the areas shaded green are non-productive areas. Our brain basket is around here.
And these acidic fertilizers, you mean fertilizers like DAP? DAP particularly?
In particular, DAP is very acidic.
The consequences are stark. Declining crop yields lead to food insecurity, impacting millions who rely on agriculture for sustenance. This, in turn, can fuel poverty. Furthermore, degraded soil loses its ability to store carbon, exacerbating climate change. These are the same areas that in that 2012 report you had recommended dropping DAP and using NPK instead.
Yeah.
And when the government tried to do that, it failed miserably.
But because the farmers, you need to convince the farmer first.
So
you need to convince the farmer first so that they believe what you are telling them.
The declining soil quality crisis is the reason African agricultural experts and government representatives are meeting in Nairobi to find solutions. At the end of this summit, a declaration is expected on soil health and fertilizer use, and soil scientists say that they'd like to see their expertise as scientists being infused into that document so that nobody will buy fertilizer without considering the scientific perspectives or the impact of that fertilizer where it's going. And one other thing that affects soil fertility is flooding, and right now Kenya is in a flood and at least 30,000 acres of cropland are underwater.
In terms of nutrient availability in the soils, because a lot of the nutrients, even if farmers had used fertilizer, has been leached. So some areas will be very deficient. Some areas might gain from the flooding because nutrients have been carried to those areas. So my rallying call is that it is very important for farmers to test their soils after these floods to determine the current status.
The Africa Fertilizing Soil Health Summit ends on Thursday. Zainab Wandati, NTV, Nairobi.
Well, my name is Nina Shabana, wishing you a lovely night. After the break, Bernard Ndong will coming up your way with the sports news.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho.
Lipa bills kama vile TV, stima, maji na shopping ukitumia M-Kopa Cash ama dial *667# na unaweza kujishindia 1000 for every bill paid.
Kuna 100 daily winners. Chelewa, utapata mbwata sio chako. Kose.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Gari moja imetoka na sasa kwa *570# introducing wawili hawa. Kama ni biashara, Probox nayo, na kama ni personal ride, Demio nayo, *570#. Situshinde.
Tuko super on a hunt. That's a stunt. For nice and lovely lotion. That's a stunt. Nimekupata. Yeah. Nimekuhata. Your skin is glowing. It's nice and lovely. Nice and lovely. Feeling great. Back to school. I cannot wait.
Crazy offers. Save up to 180 bob. Buy now at a store near you.
Are you ready for Kenya's prime exhibition for power and energy and Solar Expo 2024? Connect with companies from over 30 countries, local suppliers, contractors, manufacturers, government buyers, and other industry professionals. The KICC from 26 to 28 June from 10 a.m. to 06 p.m. Be there.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches. You are an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
The Africa CEO Forum is back in Kigali. 2,000 attendees, 1,200 companies from 75 countries. Engage with Africa's top executives. More than 60 sessions to enable dialogue between the private and public sector. Join us on 16 and the 17th of May 2024.
NTV Sports News in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
Hello there, I do trust that you're keeping well. It's time for the sports update. Good evening, I'm Bernard Ndong. Kenya's Navy's Samuel Shege was crowned the best overall after bagging 4 gold medals on the final day of the 4th edition Defence Forces Athletics Championships. In the field events, Belinda Oburu set the only new KDF record of 14.25 meters in the shot put category. Our reporter Elijah Uko recaps the final day of the championship that was held at the Ulinzi Sports Complex in the capital, Nairobi.
Commonwealth Games, the bronze medalist Kibiwott Kandie continued his dominance in the middle distance races, adding the 5,000 meters title to the 10,000 meters race he won a few days ago. Having never qualified for the Olympics, the 27-year-old has his eyes set on qualifying for the Paris Games.
I'll be training for 10,000, of which it is a hard event, but I'll try my best to make sure my training is concurrent so that I can beat the other athletes.
In the men's 1,500 meters, world cross-country relay champion Daniel Munguti outpaced the rest of the field to clock 3 minutes and 37.15 seconds. The world champion has yet to set an Olympic qualifying time and is targeting to attain it before the National Olympic Trials. Simon Koech managed to defend his 3,000 meters steeplechase title as he stopped the clock at 8 minutes 22.51 seconds.
I qualify in world ranking, but I have also to qualify with the entry standard to Olympics. So I want to push myself, to qualify first to the Olympics. Then when we come to trials, it will be all of a position.
Hii itanipea direction kwa maandalizi makuu ya Olimpiki ambayo inakuja.
In the relays, Mutongwe Bays of Kenya Navy clinched the men's 4x100 meters and 4x400 meters as Moi Air Base won the women's 4x100 meters. London Marathon bronze medalist Joycelyn Jepkosgei finished second in the women's 10,000 meters race as Sela Jepleting took the plaudits in the 10,000 meters, adding to the 5,000 meters race she earlier won. Focus now shifts to the National Athletics Championship that will take place on the 16th to 18th of this month. Elijah Uko, NTV Sport.
Host Kenya will be represented by 60 athletes in the International School Sports World Cross Country Championships that will be held this Sunday at the Ngong Racecourse in Nairobi. Team Kenya team manager Koech Kirwa was part of a team that toured the course on Wednesday to ascertain the state of the turf that will be used in the championships. Kenya will have representatives with a wide age range from about 8 years to 18. The team has been training at the Watakatifu Center Wote in Ngong. At least 450 athletes from 24 countries are expected to compete. This is the second time the championships are being held in Africa after Morocco hosted it in 2000.
So the coaches are happy that we are running on a slightly flat course with a few obstacles, and we are also having the athletes to have a feel of the course, and at least from the feedback that we are getting from the athletes, many of them are happy.
Tumekuja kuona uwanja iko sawa. Kwa wakimbiaji wenzangu wamechepanga, mtisha yenye wako naye wamsema lazima tushinde hiki kitu. Sasa hata kama itakuwa aje, lazima tukue top 10 wote.
Preparation yangu ni kukuja tu kung'ang'ana on Sunday na Mungu atatusaidia. Nita promise tutaleta goal tutafika Kenya yetu, na naona timu yangu wako sawa. Training tulipewa training poa, na shukuru tena coaches wenye walitusaidia kwa mazoezi.
And finally, Sam Jethwa, a paraplegic, will be competing at this year's Rhino Charge, which will be held next month in Kajiado. Jethwa will be competing in Car 25 as part of the Charging Hippos team. He will be partnering with White Cup, which is part of the Heritage Brands and the Kenya Breweries Limited, car number 19, known as the Bush Babes, which comprises of an all-ladies team that have been competing in the Rhino Charge for 15 years. Car number 46, the Gecko Tribe Chargers, will also be sponsored by White Cup. The sponsorship will entail financial support, equipment and logistical assistance during the off-road motorsport event.
That's it. That's it. It's very important to append your signature over there. 3,000,005.
NTV Sports News in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep, powered by Black Carbon, for 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
Well, that's it in the world of sports. Thank you so much for your time and attention. My name is Bernard Ndong. Remember, Champions League action continues tonight. Real Madrid will be facing off against Bayern Munich in the second leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final.
All right, thank you for the sports news, Bernard Ndong. I didn't catch the after Bayern.
Bayern Munich.
That. Well, time for myself and Flora Atieno, our sign language interpreter, to sign off as well. But you should not log off because, as is our custom on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we have 12 minutes coming up. And the death toll from the Mai Mahiu flash floods has risen to above 60, making it the worst flood tragedy in the country in recent years. By Wednesday, 61 bodies had been retrieved from the flood site and the search and recovery efforts enter the 10th day. 34 people still are missing from the April 30th incident. NTV's Health and Sciences reporter Bridget Sangana spoke to survivors of the floods and what experts predict about future floods. 12 minutes coming up right after this commercial break.
Before we have that particular story, there's something interesting, of course, we have to show. We understand that it is the final day of our colleague Olive Barrows. And Olive, before you depart, before you go, before you bid us farewell, we felt that it's important for us to appreciate what you meant to all of us here at Nation Media Group. Just a small clip just to remind us of how special Olive is.
Olive Barrows, aka Kaleche Maze, a great colleague, one that I will truly treasure. Your laughter in the office has been absolutely unique. Wherever you're going, all the best, and the sky is just but the start, not the limit. Cheers.
It has been great working with you for the last 2 years. You've been a great professional, and I know wherever you're going to exude the same professionalism that you have exuded in the past several years working at Nation. All the best.
It's been real. That's all I can say. And we really appreciate your talent and the time you spent here. I used to have so many friends who would say they like watching you on TV. You illuminate their screens, and I know you're going to do the same wherever you're going.
Kaleche, hi. For the short time I've known you, it's been an amazing time working with you, and it's also been extremely interesting getting to know your thought process as a person, as a woman, and as a person who really cares about the craft. But I wish you well in your next assignment. I will personally miss you. Please keep your phone lines open, and all the best.
It's been amazing working with you. I wish you all the very best in your new assignment, and remember not to shave your hair without letting me know.
Hi Olive, thank you for being kind-hearted. Thank you for always smiling, even on those days when the newsroom is tough. We'll dearly miss you. I wish you all the best in your next endeavors. Wendy Williams here.
Tamba jamani, tamba. Mwenyezi Mungu mama ameweza kung'uta mavumbi na kukuheshimisha. Sasa sisi tunakushabikia kwa ngazi mpya ambayo umeipanda, na siku zote zidi kupeperusha bendera ya kike.
I've known you for a long time, from all the way back to the days of Capital FM, all the way to here at NTV. And all I can say is good luck, continue doing your very best. The sky is the limit.
Hi Kaleche, and also goodbye, a very, very sad goodbye. But you are truly, truly sunshine, and you'll be so missed. Thank you for all your contributions and your kindness and your friendship, on air and off air. I wish you all the best.
Oh girl, we are so proud of you. Wherever you are, break the glass ceiling. We know that you're going to do your best. The 2 years I worked with you at NTV, and even before I knew you in the past, you have done us proud. Don't forget, NMG is your home.
The sky is no limit for you, Olive. I know you're going to make us proud. Go, girl. Shine on your way.
We love you, Kaleche.
We love you.
Thank you for being a good friend, fantastic colleague, amazing journalist. Go, grow, glow.
Hi Olive, I am really going to miss you, especially the times on Saturday when we used to go for walks and buy skincare and makeup. You're so joyful, it's contagious, and we're going to miss you so much.
Miss Olive Barrows, as you embark on your next assignment, I wish you nothing but the very best. Shine on, mama.
My Kayelo, I truly wish you the very best in this next chapter. May God always go before you and fight for you. Shine on. You have been and will always be a sister, and I love you. Mwah.
Kaleche, no one knows you than I do. Your departure from this place is a blessing in one sense, but it's painful at the same time. But it's a best of wish for us and from me.
Obi, I want to wish you all the best as you open a new chapter in your professional career. It was a pleasure working with you for the past 2 years, and this does not mean goodbye. It means see you later. All the best.
Oh gosh, I think you summed it up nicely. This is not goodbye, it is
see you later.
See you later. It is see you later.
How does it feel?
You guys have been working your darndest to have me cry today. I will wait for it to start raining. Then I'll blame it on the sound.
But you do understand that you're loved.
I love you guys so much. It has been an absolute privilege working here at the Nation Media Group for the last 6 years, exactly 6 years. They took a chance on me. It has paid off in more than just career-wise, but the friendships. And we remain comrades in arms, because this craft really, we're all in it together for the greater good of Kenyans.
Do you take hugs?
I do. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Signing off for the last time.
And see you later.
Signing off for the last time. All the best.
Thank you.
This is NTV.
Gari moja imetoka na sasa kwa star 570 hash introducing wawili hawa. Kama ni biashara, Probox nayo, na kama ni personal ride, Demio nayo. Star 570 hash, situshinde.
Don't let dark marks break your confidence. Let your melanin glow.
New innovation, L'Oreal Paris Glycolic Bright Serum, validated with dermatologists, inspired by peeling procedures, powered by glycolic acid. Acts deep and fast to reduce 5 years of dark marks in 2 weeks.
Glowing, even-toned skin for you.
New Glycolic Bright Serum, an innovation by L'Oreal Paris.
We're worth it.
You do your best out there, let us do our best in here with the disinfecting power of Jake. Because Jake cleans and kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs and COVID-19 in your home. Jake, your family's guardian against germs and COVID-19.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Cop Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Cop Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches. You are an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka.
Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways. And Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
This is NTV.
More than 60 people, mostly children, have died from April 30th's early morning flash floods in Mai Mahiu. At the moment, the camp has been broken, but others have been relocated for temporary housing as they await government funding to allow for their resumption to normalcy. What happened in Mai Mahiu has been described by the president as a climate change-related disaster. Here are the stories of the people on what really happened on that dark Monday.
Jina yangu mimi naitwa Zakaria Maina Masharia. Nimezaliwa kule juu Kinare. Pari hiyo maji imetoka na mimi niko na miaka 70 na kitu. Na hapa area hii nimekaa 54 years kutoka 1969. Hakuna mtu inakuaga hapa. Hii ni seasonal. Nyumba yangu iko hapa karibu about 40 meters. Kwa hivyo mimi nasikiaga ikilia sauti. Ilikuwa Friday. Kuja kuangalia tukaona maji ni mingi sana. Tukaona hata kuna dalili ya kuongezeka. Kuangalia maji ikiwa hiyo Friday ilikuwa mingi, usiku maji ikavunga. Na ile kitu ilifanyika, kulikuwa na landslide. Hiyo landslide ndio iteremsha mawe na ikateremsha miti, ikavuga tunnel. Hiyo tunnel ni kubwa kuliko Karabat, about 10 feet high. Sasa maji kurudi nyuma sasa inaacha kutengeneza bakuri ya maji. Ikawa kama ziwa. Kwa hivyo Saturday watu wakaenda huku wakakuta maji kweli imevuka kwa sababu maji haijafika hapa. Nikaamua kwenda saa 10 Sunday. Kwenda huku tulikuwa na wawili, tukakuta kweli ziwa ni kubwa, ilikuwa imevugana maji inatoka kidogo. Tukaona ile inaingia ni mingi kuliko ile inatoka. Tukaona imebakisha 10 feet ifike kwa reli level. Na kwa hivyo tukaona dalili ni mbaya zaidi. Ndio tukaambia watu na tukatuambia watu kuanzia hapa Old Kijabi na majirani wetu wale waliaga hapa chini wajihadhari na tukatumana. Nimekaa kwa muda mrefu sijaona kitu kama hii. Hapa kwetu hakuna mtu ameaga. Mimi nilisikia sauti imebadilisha saa 8 usiku. Nilikuwa sijalala, nilikuwa nangojea, nikasikia mawe ikiteremka. Nikaaja nikatoa viribi, nikaamusha watu na watu wakakubali wakaamuka na wakaondoka. Maji ilikuwa imesidi, hata kwa wale nimeona ingine imepanda na barabara na ikapeleka miti huko. Na hii mawe mnaona hii makubwa wametoka kule juu about 2 kilometers from here.
Kwa majina ni Charles Njoroge, mwenyeji wa Old Kijabi. Mto mwenye umevunja ni Livatongi. Juu ya landslide yenyewe ikaleta matope, ikablock the tunnel, so maji iko inaweza kupita. So ikaanza kujiforma hapa, ikawa ni mingi, ikajikusanya since Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Juu we were waiting for it because ikiwa imeblock hakuna njia nyingine and it was not a dam. Maji yenyewe ilifunga ndio sasa iko inapita. Sasa ndio wakati ilivunja ndio ikatelemka na ikafagia wenye walikuwa on the way. They didn't expect this.
Majina ni Meriwanjiko Jenga. Narudishia Mungu shukrani kwa ajili hiyo maji vyenye ilikuja, hatukuwa tunajielewa. Ilikuwa ni usiku wa saa 9, ukasikia mgurumo wa maji. Wakati tulisikia huo mgurumo wa maji, nikiita watoto. Wakati nilisikia mimi nikaenda kuwaita watoto. Wakati niliwaita tu hata si kutoka kwa nyumba, kuwaita tu hiyo ikakuja imegonga nyumba. Nikasikia poa poa, tukatokelezewa tukaenda na maji sisi na watoto wangu. Sijui pahali nilitokelezea juu, nilijikuta pahali juu mimi. Karudisha shukrani, nikaambia Mungu ni asante kwa ajili ameniwezesha kutoka kwa hiyo kwa hiyo maji. Kamwambia hata kama mimi nimeonekana, hata najua watoto wangu wataonekana. Sikukaa sana, hiyo maji ikazima. Watoto wangu wakapatikana wakiwa wawili. Walikuwa pamoja tu, hiyo msichana mwenye ako huko na kijana. Kamoja ndio kalikuwa kamebaki. Lakini niliambiwa kalionekana. Kwa sasa sijui pahali kako. Juu tuliambiwa kuna watoto wengine walikuwa wamepelekwa huko Kikuyu na huko Kiambu. Lakini hii saidi ya Naivasha hakako. Kwenda juu Madhaini Roho alipasi. Lakini hata sister yangu na katoto kake waliaga.
Naitwa Margaret Jerry ama Mama Shiko. Nilikuwa na watoto wanne. Nilikuwa nimeenda kuangalia wazazi nyumbani. Wakati nilikuwa nyumbani nikapigiwa simu asubuhi mapema. Nikaambiwa kwangu sina boma, sina hata mtoto mmoja apatikani. Mimi fanya nilikuja wakati niliambiwa mtoto apatikani, nikakuja haraka sana. Fanya nilipata tu pale kwa njia ya kuingia kwangu, sasa hata nilistuka sana. Juu nilipata ile miti siko hapo. Hata mimi ikinigonga tu hivi singebaki. Juu kuna mamiti kubwa sijui zilitoka wapi, zikakuja zikawekwa pale. Mimi kwenda kufika nyumbani nikapata sina boma, hakuna kitu, hata wewe sema kulikuwa na boma. Mtoto mmoja hayuko. Na kukakaa kidogo sasa tukasikia mtoto amepatikana, amepelekwa moja liko hapa Maimayo, na kwenda kuangalia tukapata kweli ni yeye. Sasa mimi mtoto mmoja kijana hayuko, alipotea hivyo, lakini wengine wako sawa. Msichana naye alisukuma na maji kama kilomita moja hivi. Sasa alijisikiria mti mpaka hiyo maji ikaisha. Wakati watu walikuja kutafuta wenye wamekwama kwa maji, sisi wakasikia zile sauti yake juu ya mti. Sasa ndio wakaenda wakamuokoa, wakamtoa kwa mti. Baba yake naye niliambiwa alitolewa, benye alimtoa aliniambia walimtoa kwa matope. Alikuwa ameangukiwa na hii mawe ya gate. Hiyo alijisikiria kwa hiyo. Sasa wakati iling'oka ilimulalia. Sasa alitolewa kwa hiyo akiwa amejaa matope. Sasa alikuja kumsaidia tu, walimchukua wakampeleka kwa boma nyingine na hapo juu. Wakaenda wakamuosha, wakampea manguo, wakampea kila kitu.
Kwa majina naitwa Mary Waruguru. Nimekuja hapa sababu ya nimekuja kwa niece na sister in law wafanywe postmortem, na bado kuna mtoto mmoja niece hajapatikana mpaka saa hii. Wenye sasa wamelala hapa ni wa 4 na bado huyo mmoja missing. Tangu hiyo siku yenye hii janga ilitokelezea, ile mili nimefukua na hii mkono. Nafukua, tunaweka kando, serikali inakuja inachukua. Ndio ku identify mili. Ukiona mwili ikiingia unakimbia uangalie kama utapata mtu wenyu, lakini nasikia tu kuna wenye wanashughulika, lakini bado sababu hii ni siku ya 3, bado. Hapo maji ilipitia huko kwa Mukorea. Si ati ni kwa mto, hiyo ni maji ilipiga ikakuja kwa mashamba. Sasa hata tunashindwa mpaka kuwazika watu, tutawazika aje? Tutawazika wapi? So hata tunaona hii mili ingine hii yenye inasemekana imepotea, ingine ilimezwa. Kuna mahali kuna meza watu, na unajua sasa ukisema hivyo kunafaa mpaka serikali ikuje iangalie ijue ni wapi tunasema. Sisi sio wazimu. Na kwenye watu walitolewa ndio waende wakamezwa huko, ni mbali sana. Ni mbali.
Experts on Rift Valley's geological landscape say what happened in Maimahiu that Monday was a man-made disaster due to the settlement of persons in catchment areas.
There has been landslides there before, and those landslides contribute actually the mud or the materials that flew down the river at this point in time because we had excess moisture or rainfall, which then translated into a lot of flow in the valleys I've just shown you. And of course, joining up to become a huge flow system, more or less like all the flows you have seen in all the rivers in Nairobi or elsewhere. It just happens that there's a lot of water, and the water simply occupies the entire valley or riparian area and flows along the riparian area, sweeping anything on its way. So it may not have occurred in the magnitude of now, but it has occurred in smaller magnitudes before through the landslides that we have seen that have occurred in that area before. I'm sure you saw that there was a lot of mud flows that were brought along, and you can then perceive that these mud flows came from the hills up there. That means if we receive enhanced rainfall in the course of time, we will receive more landslides from that area. And obviously with more water, that mud will be washed down into the flat plain below. And more or less like it happens in Chesegon. Chesegon, the flow came from very far. So these flows come from very far, and they will just be shifted down into the plains below where they stabilize. And the stabilization basically means that they'll bury everything that is on their way, or sweep or bury. Sweep if it is on a steep slope, bury if it is on a flat plain where it is coming to rest. Now, every time we have a risk like this one, we receive some conversation revolving around policy. That, oh, we are now taking this policy to Parliament, and Parliament will ratify this policy. But I can tell you for free that as soon as this event is over, then we will settle down and say, hallelujah, God has heard our prayers, and therefore we are no longer in risk, and therefore we don't need to take any measures. If you also recall, we had in 2018, the fracturing of the, what was being referred by media as the fracturing of the Rift Valley, which was actually a similar event like now, when there was excessive moisture running across the Narok Road, and then it washed one or two places along Narok Road. Of course, there was a measure that was proposed to be put in place, but that measure was not implemented. Now, of course, we have revisited the same problem now. The road is washed off in certain sections, or mud flows are on the road in certain sections. And of course, without a guiding policy as to what those institutions that are responsible for the management of various aspects of risk, what they are supposed to do, then we can't bring anybody to account. And I think that's the main problem. There are no institutions formally charged with certain responsibility of ensuring that actually people don't settle in flood-prone areas. So you allow the people to just occupy the land as they wish. And then when the risk comes, then you tell them that, oh, you took yourself to the danger and you can now account for yourself. It can't work like that. We must advise our people on areas that they cannot settle. We must not allow them to settle there at all. In fact, we should not sell that land in the first place to them.
With the prediction that climate-related disasters will be more fervent and more worse in the coming years, Kenya is still yet to have a disaster risk management policy and, in essence, enhance its early warning systems to avert future crises. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
This is NTV.
Schalke are one of the biggest and most iconic football clubs in Germany, who were a staple in the Bundesliga for over 3 decades. The Royal Blues regularly competed in Europe and run a famed youth academy with German internationals and World Cup winners graduating from D. Knappenschmiede. But it's been a dramatic fall from grace for Schalke, who are in the midst of a crisis of alarming proportions and facing an uncertain future.
Eldora Technical Training Institute. Enroll now in our ongoing May 2024 intakes in the following diploma, certificate and artisan programs. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725 818 644. Eldora Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Gari moja imetoka na sasa kwa star 570 hash introducing wawili hawa. Kama ni biashara, Probox nayo na kama ni personal ride, Demio nayo star 570 hash. Situshinde.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Wiki hii katika kupatana.
I fell in love with someone and it was a very tricky situation, but ikakuja ikajamisha my friend, a very good friend of mine that I consider a sister by the way.
Mimi na Mary tulikuwa marafiki wakubwa sana, lakini vile alinifanyia sijui.
Hii love ilikuwa so deep even that ulikuwa willing to risk. Who is this person?
My best friend's dad.
Okay, wait a minute. Just like in business, friendship requires investments. Friendship requires time, it requires trust. But what happens in a case whereby you trust somebody, but one way or the other, they end up backstabbing you or doing something that to disappoint you, and then you being the human you feels a little bit tough or a little bit hard or a little bit challenged in just probably forgiving and trying to understand the situation and probably try to get the relationship or the friendship to where it was before. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kupatana Show. I am your host. My name is the one and only the Eagle himself, Dr. Vegas Mine, and of course, as usual, I'm never alone. Joining me is the one and only former Miss Muranga County 1974. Of course, your great-grandfather's biggest crush. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Brandon Jones in the house.
Hello.
Yeah, say hi to
Ilikuwa najikumbusha a dance tulikuwa tunafanya kwa 1964.
Hey.
Kimodo kule Muranga County.
Deep in the forest.
Kimodo.
Mau after party. It was lit.
Freshers party.
Freshers. Now, Bridget, let me ask you something. Even before we continue, what are you going to prepare for us tonight? Last time you served the eggs, I didn't even test even the frying pan. Even the shells of the egg, I didn't have an opportunity. Sikukuwa nayo.
Hata mimi sikutaste.
Ukute, so you will pick a two? Jesus, okay.
So leo mnakula toast mayai.
Toast mayai.
Na kashai.
Kashai. Okay. Now, today's episode is interesting. Do you have a best friend of a lady?
Mama Michael.
Mama Michael. Ni nini nawashikanisha na Mama Michael? Chama. So wakati hauna, yeye anakutolea. Wewe ukiwa nayo unamtolea?
Kitu kama hiyo.
Mnapigania. Unachukuliana namba.
Tupigani ni tunatoleana.
No, kupiganiana is fighting for each other as friends. Sindio? Okay. Now tonight is very interesting. These two ladies, I'm about to tell you their story. But before that, jikoni, sindio?
Yes.
Okay. So, those men who are watching back in 1974, this is what used to confuse you. Now, tonight's episode is one interesting one for me as a person and as a host. Imagine a situation about you and your friend trust each other, share deepest of secrets, hang around each other. Your family knows their family, and their family knows your family. But siku moja, mmoja wenyu akaamua kukubetray, kukudisappoint, akaamua kugo behind your back and did one of the worst things ever unaweza imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to invite on the show the one and only Mary Ndong. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Ndungu on the show. Mary, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Have a seat. Sorry, the water was only for the host. We'll get to water probably later on. Karibu sana. How are you?
I'm fine.
What do you do for a living?
I am a boutique owner.
Boutique owner?
Yes, boutique owner.
Ah, boutique owner. All right. Would you say you're a loyal person? What do you mean
Yes, yes, I'm very loyal.
Then why are we here?
We are here because of love.
Because of love?
Yes.
You're in love with somebody, I'm only disappointed. Mtu ama unataka. Love,
Yes, I fell in love with someone and it was a very tricky situation, but ikakuja ikajamisha my friend, a very good friend of mine that I consider a sister, by the way.
So how does the tricky situation of being in love in associated na ubeshta? Kwa the best friend yako, sindio?
Yes.
For how many years?
For so long, for the longest. Ever since I can remember, we've been friends.
For the longest time?
Yeah.
So ukiingia hii situation ulikuwa unajua italeta issue between the two of you?
Okay, honestly speaking, I didn't really think that it was going to blow up the way it did because, like I said, it was because of love, you know, and I thought that she would understand me.
Okay, who are we talking about? Who is this person? Mwenye aliingia between the two, who is this person? Hii love ilikuwa so deep even that ulikuwa willing to risk. Who is this person?
My best friend's dad.
Okay, wait a minute. Your best friend's dad?
Yes.
So, ilikuwa by mistake ama ulikuwa unajua ni buda ya best friend yako?
I knew.
You knew from the beginning?
Yes.
So, if you guys mmekuwa mabeshte for this long, that means all along ulikuwa unajua ni buda ya best friend yako?
Yes, I did know that.
Na buda yake alikuwa anajua vile ni feel. Nani alimake the first advance? Was it you towards the dad?
No, it was him.
It was him?
You see, since we were very close, we had those moments when familia yangu inaenda kwao, unaona, alafu pia wanakuja kwetu. So, it reached a point where her mom became sick. She got cancer. And yeah, and then during this period, we started getting close to each other. And you know, honestly, it was a mutual feeling between me, the dad, and the mom. I know it sounds crazy, but it's
mutual
true.
feeling. The mom as well?
Yeah, the mom knew, like, apparently.
Wait, relax. So Brenda, you better start cooking because I'm getting confused. So the mom knew that kuna kitu ina happen.
Yes.
Alifeel your chemistry.
Yes. She's the one who even gave us the go ahead.
Aliwa bless.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, okay, fine. Aliwa bless secretly. First aliwa bust, alijam.
At first, okay, so at first I wasn't very comfortable with the whole situation because, you know, he's like, you know, I took him like my dad.
I can imagine that.
Yes, but we got to talking and then I saw him as a person now, as a human, and I saw his character. And then I fell in love with his character, the way he was. And so did he. In fact, even my friend used to always tell me that I remind her of her mom, and he felt the same way.
Let me ask, because I really want us to get, so that by the time to get to the end of this show, to get to understand what is really happening.
Yeah.
All gonna your parents as well, Cindy?
Yeah.
Did they know about this?
No.
Do they know about this now?
Yes.
Was your father present? Like, was he a present dad?
On and off.
On and off?
Yeah.
And ukiuliza beshte yako walikuwa na feel kama did you feel like the dad was present on her side?
Yes. He was a very loving guy.
So it started from a point of admiration.
Yes.
Like my dad ayuko but budake uko around.
Yeah, sort of. Okay, now you're making it sound weird, but yeah.
No, because mimi nataka understand the same way viewers na Brenda wanataka understand. So nikikuuliza question mimi because nataka understand how did we end up to this place?
That warm, fuzzy feeling, you know, like
What?
He really understands me, you know. He does. Like, there's so many young guys out there that I can be with, that's true. But the way he treats me, the way he takes care of me, it just surpasses everyone else.
Okay, me, I'm a little bit confused. So, Brenda, maybe woman to woman. Because this is a tough one. If it was an easy one down the road, but this is a tough one for me.
Mpaka kitunguu imekuwa hata kitunguu haikatiki.
And I'm pretty sure
times have changed. Mama yake alikubless mkiwa na huyu mbaba akasema I give you my blessing.
Yes. Well, hakukubali at first. At first, you know, she was shocked, but alisema since she's leaving already,
you might as well.
Yeah, she gave me the permission to take care of him.
Huyu mzee ako na miaka gapi?
How old was the dad at the time?
I prefer not to say.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Kupatana Show. Dr. Foneke, Brenda Jones, and we have a lady on the show by the name Mary Ndongo. It's kind of a complicated situation. Mary ali fall in love na Buddha ya beshte yake. So before we continue, because I'm pretty sure you're here because you're looking for reconciliation, isn't it?
Yes.
With your best friends.
Yes.
Meaning you are now at a guilt position.
Yes.
I think it's important for us to understand, Pendo, what is it? What? Okay, just play the clip. Just play the clip with Pendo, please, from the gallery.
Kwa majina naitwa Pendo Safari. Mimi ni mkazi Nairobi but nimetoka Mombasa. Mimi na Mary tulikuwa marafiki wakubwa sana. Marafiki, kila mtu alikuwa anajua ni dadangu mdogo. Tumesoma tangu shule cha msingi pamoja. Alikuwa anakuja kwetu kama dadangu, mamangu alimzoea sana. Wadogo wangu alimzoea sana. Mpaka ilikuwa kama hajakuja kunaambiwa anaenda kutafutwa hata kama misiko. Fulani yako wapi, mbona hajakuja, ni mzima, si mzima. Yaani tulimpenda familia yetu sana. Na babangu ilitokea mahali mpaka anamlipia school fees. Yaani ilikuwa mimi na yeye ndio kitu moja. Alikuwa anaweza kuja mpate baba, amuitishe Kenya anataka na baba ampe. Hata kama niko ama siko. Lakini vile alinifanyia sijui. Mimi na Mary tulikuwa marafiki, akakuwa amezoea nyumbani. Mdogo wangu akaniambia, "Da, mbona Mary anazoea nyumbani kama hauko, mimi sifurahi." Nikamuuliza mdogo wangu, "Why?" Akaniambia, "Wewe njoo saa ile utakuwa ndakupigia simu uje saa ile wako na baba."